start for their teams. It's Vince Evans of the Bears on the left and Doug Williams of Tampa Bay in a key NFC Central showdown.
Who would have believed that Tampa Bay would be 4-0 at this point in the season? Well, Coach John McKay might have. And I talked with him this week about his maturing team. We'll have all that and more coming up on the NFL Today.
Red 83!
NFL Today is sponsored by Poland Chainsaws. Poland, the chainsaw that's easy to use but hard to pronounce. Desenex for athlete's foot. If you've got athlete's foot, don't blame Desenex. And by True Value Hardware Business. From the CBS Sports Control in New York, here's Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon, everybody, and what a showdown that's going to be in Chicago. Tampa Bay and the Bears. First of all, we have 6 games underway. Let's take you right now to the NFL scoreboard. Minnesota and Detroit scoreless. Chuck Foreman has been benched. Ted Brown for the Vikes. Atlanta leading Washington at 7-3. Andrews scored for the Falcons 2 yards out. Giants and New Orleans are scoreless. Yes, Wes Chandler is playing for the Saints. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia scoreless. Carmichael's done it. 101 consecutive games catching a pass, 4 shy tie on the record. Miami and the Jets are tied. 26-yard pass. Greasy to Cephalo. The Jets on the board with a blocked punt. Cleveland trailing Houston 10-0. Earl Campbell got Houston on the board with a 2-yard run. One of the college teams that has come back dramatically, the Tennessee Volunteers, under the guiding hand of Johnny Majors. Yesterday, their toughest test. It was against Auburn. Auburn kicking off. Setting out a return is Gary Moore for the orange-clad Volunteers. Watch him burrow in behind 2 blockers right here. Finds daylight to the outside, and he's gone. 98 yards for the first Tennessee touchdown. They moved ahead of Auburn 6-0. Second quarter, it's the same Gary Moore. And here he is getting through 2 would-be tacklers. And Tennessee is in complete command. Here's Jimmy Streeter. Watch the quickness here as he gets into the corner, still for another touchdown to Johnny Majors. Now the third quarter. Auburn being beaten back. So watch what one official does. He says, I've got to help out Auburn here. Let me take out that last Tennessee defender. 35-17. Tennessee an easy winner. Let's move them into the top 5 for the NFL today. Got to go with the Trojans. They came back dramatically with 2 fourth-period touchdowns last night against LSU. Alabama, Ohio State, Nebraska, Houston, and Tennessee would be tied for the 5th spot. Notre Dame and Michigan State, and Dan Devine has brought the Irish along quickly this year, quicker than a lot of folks expected. And, of course, Randy Lish is the Irish quarterback. Here is to Tony Hunter, the freshman. It was 7-0, Notre Dame over Michigan State. Vegas Ferguson stalks a Heisman Trophy, 169 yards, 28 carries. That score put him up 23. 4 minutes later, watch Ferguson down the sidelines. Marvelous balance. Sees daylight, cuts left, and he's gone again. It was 27-3 Notre Dame. And I'll tell you, with the baseball playoffs and the football season, here comes basketball and hockey. We have got an NBA game coming up on Friday night, October 12th. It's the San Diego Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers. And the big redhead is back for San Diego. He is now playing for Gene Shue. He was sidelined last year at Portland because of an injury. His knees are strong. The other night in Anaheim, California, he was spectacular against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he says he's had an awful lot to overcome.
You know, I stood out there for a long time and all by myself. And thought about all the bad times and all these, you know, all those hours of coming back and, you know, making it hurt, you know, but making it hurt the right way. And you know, just it's a long road.
All right, Minnesota right now is stalking a touchdown. They are scoreless against Detroit, and we'll keep you up to date with all of the scores as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a minute.
For over 30 years, people have been buying Poland chainsaws.
Wouldn't use anything but a Poland.
Poland, Ed. Poland.
And for over 30 years, they've been mispronouncing our name.
Poland.
Poo.
So we'd like to remind you that our name is Poland. And for a tough, dependable chainsaw, Poland is the only name you need to remember, no matter how you pronounce it.
Poland.
If you suffer with athlete's foot, you should know what these students helped us confirm here at the University of New Mexico in a major clinical study. Proof that nothing is more effective than Desinex for treatment of athlete's foot. We use students with sore, itching athlete's foot to test Desinex against the 2 other leading brands. Results? Scientific evidence that short of a prescription, nothing is better than the medicines in Desinex. Nothing. So if you've got athlete's foot, don't blame Desinex.
If you choose your tools as carefully as you use them, choose Master Mechanic tools from True Value Hardware stores. Master Mechanic tools are American-made from superior materials to give you the performance and long life you would expect from a professional quality tool. True Value Hardware stores are so confident of this quality that they'll replace any Master Mechanic tool that fails to perform as expected. And that means any tool from a wide line of Master Mechanic tools sold only at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Let's take you live right now to Detroit. Kramer brings the Vikes up. 2nd and 7. They are down on Detroit's 8-yard line. This drive set up by an interception. Here's Ted Brown, who has replaced Chuck Foreman in Grant's lineup today. Now, a couple of major stories. Paul Krause's interception, that ties him with Emlyn Tunnell on the all-time list at 79. Yes, Chuck Foreman is out, and the rookie from North Carolina State, 23, Brown, is now starting for the Vikes. One other note, Kramer was struck by a staph infection on the left side of his face. About an hour ago, we had a tight shot of him, and his left eye is partially closed. But he has gone all the way for Minnesota, and we'll see now as they come up with a 3rd down. Young Tommy Kramer has the Vikes ready to strike. Scoreless against Detroit right now. You're watching live action from the Silverdome. Protection's there. Intercepted, and they will take over. And, of course, the other game that we are following is about to unfold at Soldier Field, and there is Johnny Morris, who'll be working today. And, Johnny, tell me about the Chicago Bears. We've got Abe Gibran coming in there. He should know how to defend that team today.
Yes, Abe would love to beat his old team, the Chicago Bears, and that Tampa Bay defense has been beating everybody. They've had a great defense this year. They know the key. Everybody knows the key. If you stop Walter Payton, you can win a ball game. That has been the problem with the Bears. They are a one-dimensional team. I cannot think of a game in the past few years that somebody has stopped Walter Payton and the Bears have gone on to win, and that's not championship style. As you know, with the Cowboys, you can stop Tony Dorsett, but maybe Staubach or Hertscher or Drew Pearson will catch passes. With Pittsburgh, they can stop Franco Harris, but maybe Bradshaw will do it or somebody like Lynn Swann. The Bears only have Payton right now. They're trying to develop more with Vince Evans as a rollout quarterback. And, of course, they've got James Scott who can catch some long passes. But as you know, you think back in history, Gale Sayers, great runner for the Bears. They never won. O.J. Simpson with Buffalo. He had some great years running, but he was one dimension. Buffalo never won any championships, and that's the key. If Payton goes today, the Bears will win. If Tampa Bay stops Payton, Tampa Bay will win.
All right, John. The last good passing attack in Chicago was Bill Wade to Johnny Morris and Mike Ditka. I remember it well. All right.
And let me tell you,
Tampa Bay unbeaten. I can't believe they put it together this quickly.
Everybody's asking the same question, Brent. When you stop and take a look at what's going on, you'll know what's going on. Everyone knows by now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the surprise team in pro football. One man who is not surprised is that irreverent, silver-haired mentor of Tampa Bay, John McKay. John McKay came to Tampa Bay from the University of Southern California in 1976 with a 5-year program to put the Buccaneers in the playoffs. After 26 straight losses and 3 losing seasons, the McKay plan seemed as hopeless as a 5-year Russian economic forecast.
Well, the reason I had a 5-year plan, I had a 5-year contract. See, I had a 6-year plan if I had a 6-year contract or a 3-year plan. And so now everybody says, how can McKay be so intelligent? It's the 5 years. Well, That was him. So we said we'll build the house, we'll build the foundation first, and we ain't going to tell people what the house looks like till we get it all built. But if it's not going to wash away in a flood, we're going to have a good foundation.
A solid offensive foundation is constructed on the young legs of running backs Jerry Eckwood and number 42, Ricky Bell. Quarterback Doug Williams has made rapid progress in reading blitzing defenses in only a second season. However, many skeptics say Williams is scatter-armed and cite his low completion percentage. How much has Doug Williams matured as a quarterback?
He's not a high percentage passer now, and I'm getting a lot of static on that. They want me to throw those 2-inch passes that I see everybody throw to the backs, and the back gets almost fractured, and they take the back out of the game with his helmet sideways. We think he's the kind of guy who will not look especially good for a play or two or a series or two, and then all of a sudden, boom, 60-yard touchdown pass. He has a great arm, and he has a great feel for the game. The reason he has not been sacked is because of Doug Williams. When they come, he's going to get rid of that ball if they hit him right in the face. He will not go into the fetal position that some people do and go, oh, I'm going down. He will not do that. He'll stand there and throw the ball.
No team passes on the Bucs' young, aggressive defense, a unit currently ranked #1 in the National Football Conference. Their leader is number 63, Leroy Selman, a defensive end many consider the best in the entire NFL.
He is a complete football player. He's highly intelligent. He's in tremendous shape. You cannot fool him, and you're not going to block him with one person. Now that we are winning, now people are going to have to say, because they know I'm still dumb, they're going to have to say they must have a lot of good players, and that's good. Because, you know, you could go on with this, wait till next year for some teams in this league for 50 years. I'm not going to live that long. At the end of 5 years, I've probably been right into the sunset because that's the end of my contract.
Jimmy, what odds do you make Tampa Bay now to make the playoffs?
You've got to give Tampa a lot of credit. They turned the corner with personnel coaching and their schedule at the perfect time. They are 3-1 favorites to make it. Not 3-1 against them, 3-1 favorites to make it.
Irv, I noticed the twinkle is back in McKay's eye. It wasn't there when he was 0-26.
Oh, 4-0, he feels pretty good.
All right. The NFL today will continue.
Yo! Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me. He's not too bad, except for those stale clothes. Wonder how he'd look in something fresh like pleated Hager slacks. Or a wool Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit.
Cantaloupe?
No, let's have a church wedding.
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
Boys, this is the express line.
When Napa first made the claim that lots of Napa parts are better than your car's original parts, some folks were skeptical.
Better than the original?
Better than the original?
Better than the original.
So before we could make that claim on TV, we were told to do one small thing.
Prove it!
So we did. Lots of Napa parts are better than your car's original parts. So visit your Napa Auto Parts store. Napa. We help keep America moving.
We belong to a Muriel Admiration Society, my baby and me. We belong to a Muriel Admiration Society. He says he likes the taste of air chips. They're so elegant with their chips. He says nothing could be sweeter than a sweet, sweet coronella. I say Muriel is by far the biggest brand of small cigar. And we go on and on from night till dawn, baby and me.
Then. All right. Looking ahead to a Notre Dame USC game here with the Greek. And Jane, you went into the movie industry this week.
That's right. There is some controversy and debate over whether the North Dallas 40 is a Hollywood farce or a realistic depiction of life in the National Football League. Well, it's some of both, according to the two forces behind the movie. In the state of Texas, football is nearly a religion. Yet because of a hard-hitting novel and subsequent screenplay by Pete Gent, who lives in Texas, the game recently has attracted some scorching and unwanted publicity. Gent, a former Dallas Cowboy, is the creative mind behind North Dallas 40, currently stirring up controversy in theaters all around the country.
Now, you listen, Thelma. You can't make it in this league if you don't know the difference between pain and injury. Hey, I'm just trying to help.
This account of the seamy side of pro football would never have reached the screen without the persistence of its star, Nick Nolte, who is determined to break tradition and make a sports film with substance.
You know, most sports stories that have ever been made in America or ever been made in the world have always been a cripple overcoming his crippled disease to become the National League batting champion. So there's never been a realistic or attempt at a realistic look at it.
I know you did a lot of research on North Dallas 40, but a lot of the contemporary players don't like it. They feel that the contemporary player is too intelligent to put up with the chiding that the film shows.
You know, that may be true, because you got to remember that Pete's novel is an older novel, and they might be right that the situation has changed quite a bit. So Pete's novel is a little dated.
We tried not to even identify time. You know, you very seldom see any cars or anything that would date it. Because we really feel that the basic things that we're dealing with in the movie are true whether it took place 20 years ago or whether it takes place today.
It was a constant battle between a Hollywood type of film and maybe a serious, poignant piece of entertainment about football. Not necessarily negative, but something that has some substance to it. You know, it doesn't present it as just fluff. So there was this constant battle. So what you essentially ended up with was Freddie Bolitnikov, myself, and Pete Gent in one faction, and the producer and the director in another faction. And they were always wanting to throw in things like a guy with a wooden leg kicking a field goal, and the wooden leg comes off and he misses the ball. Just real tasteless stuff. So we had to fight to keep Hollywood farce out of it. Still, there is some of that Hollywood farce still in it.
Forevermore. Amen. Amen. Let's go, Chuck!
The movie wasn't intended to be the total statement on the NFL. The movie is the story of one man or several men and their specific week in their career. That was really the purpose of the film, was to try and take the audience in and say, okay, here's a week in this business. It's not every week. It's not every week on every team. But here's a week that exists.
There are certain areas of the film that I think are a little exploited. I think the situation with the pills and that kind of thing is done a little grossly. And I had a little battle with that on the set. Some of the antics of the pregame situation, I think, puts the athlete in a little dumb situation, and I objected to that.
When somebody gives you a check for $100,000, you'll generally do whatever he tells you to. And it doesn't really matter what your intellect is. I think that is the bottom line that the movie North Dallas 40 says, and I think that is still the bottom line of athletics.
Can you really be motivated to play for somebody that treats you like a child?
Oh, certainly. Oh, certainly. The chance to get out there on Sunday afternoon and perform for 3 hours is, I mean, that's why they do it. That's why they put up with it all. It's well worth it. It's well worth the thrill. You're a performer, you know, and nothing replaces being a performer.
But what's important is my performing. The moment of the catch, that feeling, that high. Hell, I can take the crap. I can take the manipulation. I can take the pain. As long as I get that chance every Sunday.
Now, next Sunday, we'll have Lance Rensel and Don Perkins, two former teammates of Pete Gent, giving their impressions of North Dallas 40. Brent, we got you to see the movie last week. What did you think of it?
Well, I really liked it. I think it's a total exaggeration. But there's an element of truth there on that particular level. I would point out, because so many children watch the NFL today, that the language is very explicit. I think parents should be aware of that. And I don't think it works if you sit there and say, that's Don Meredith and that's Tom Landry. That doesn't make it for me. But I think it stands alone. I thought it was good entertainment. I really don't know why everyone's so uptight about it.
I don't either. I really don't.
The NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
A big green football team and endless yellow sea. A cherry pie and orange sky, the bluest eyes you'll ever see. Yes, America.
TV brings you America's colors vivid and lifelike, and our special VIR2 circuit adjusts the color automatically.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. We bring good things to life.
The AC spark plugs, buy 7, get 1 free sales on right now. Participating now, they're learning that if their car's plugs are misfiring, a tune-up with new AC spark plugs can help improve gas mileage. Thanks, AC. Now's the time to tune up because AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 8 AC spark plugs for the price of 7.
Thanks, AC.
Tune up with AC. Buy 7, get 1 free.
Thanks, AC.
I went into Wendy's for the first time. I had a hot and juicy, and I loved it. That night, I had a wonderful dream. I took hot and juicies everywhere. All I could think about was that juicy meat, those juicy toppings. So, I decided to devote myself to bringing pleasure to people just as I have found it. You want a real good hamburger?
Jimmy the Greek is sponsored by Dutch Masters Cigars. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
The Wizard has made Tampa Bay 3-1 to get into the playoffs, but what about today against Chicago?
Hey, you know, this is a new star that is born, and everybody's talking about him.
Look at those checks for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, well, that's at the beginning, you know. They got the speed, the quarterback. They're pretty good there. Plus the fact that Williams, you know, I mean, he's got a poor percentage completing, but he's got great protection, so consequently he's got plenty of time to throw the ball away. Eckwood and Bell even up for Payton, I think, as far as the running game is concerned. But the Bears definitely have the edge in the kicking, and I'll tell you something. I don't think Tampa likes to play on AstroTurf. They're beefing. It's a tough ball game. It's a real toss-up. Tampa's going to edge it out.
Tampa edge it out. All right. St. Louis and Los Angeles, the troubled Rams. Do the Cardinals have a shot?
They've got problems upstairs and downstairs. We're talking about the Rams. You know, the St. Louis could have beaten Washington. Rather, they know they got killed in Washington making blunders. They could have beaten Dallas and Pittsburgh. Wilkinson has done a real good job, Brent. He really has. If the owner would have spent some money for a tight end, it could be better. This could be the upset of the day, but L.A. will probably edge it out.
Tell me about tomorrow night. A lot of Chicago Packer fans. Do the Packers have a shot? Home team underdogs on Monday night.
I've heard that before. I don't know what it means, though. But you know what? This looks that good for New England, hot and cold. But Patriots are one of the better teams in football. And I'll tell you something. People are starting to want Bart Starr to run for office. It's a new way to get rid of a football coach, to running for political office.
Make him a U.S. Senator, right? What have you done for me lately? Sports fans are all alike. All right, Buffalo over Baltimore, a toss-up, according to the Greek. Slightly favored, Denver over Oak. Can't believe you've got Oakland on the right side of the column for a change. Seattle over Kansas City. The prohibitive favorites, San Diego over San Francisco, and the Dallas Cowboys to come back after that Monday night embarrassment. We'll be right back with the Greek's Grapevine in just a moment.
Ross Billings of Dutch Master Cigars is in charge of curing the world's most expensive to-grow wrapper tobacco. Instruments in the dark curing sheds can tell him a lot. But only his master's nose can tell the moment great tobacco says it is ready to be a Dutch Master cigar.
That's beautiful.
Now you know why a Dutch Masters like our president tastes so good. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see the style of the Pacific Gymnastics Championships and the power of the world's strongest men. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
All right, Jimmy, you mentioned trouble upstairs and down with the Rams. What do you mean upstairs? Steve Rosenblum been fired by his stepmother. Of course, that was earlier.
Yeah, that's true. And he only owns 6% of the team, but he is going to contest the divorce, the will, the management of the team. He's going to throw in Ed Hookstratton, who's the agent and attorney. He's on the board. And here's a little surprise move. Also, Mr. Culverhouse, the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is in. It seems like that his dad had done some kind of work tax-wise with Mr. Culverhouse. It's going to be all conflict of interest. It's going to be a big battle, Brent, and it's going to be horrible.
Jimmy, let me change the subject to baseball. the Orioles and the Angels are already in the American League. Do you make the Orioles a big favorite?
Not a big favorite, but 3-2 only because of their bullpen is just a little bit stronger, and you know how tough the Angels are hitting the ball.
Exactly. They average more runs since any team, I think, since the 56 Yankees.
It's going to be a good...
Jimmy, we got a couple of highlights I want to show. Washington and Atlanta. We want to take a look at that game. Andrews, one of those tough rookie running backs who has come upon the league this year. And here he is, up the middle for a touchdown. That drive was about 85 yards, and it made Atlanta 7, Washington 3. Now, I mentioned earlier that Paul Krause had tied Emlyn Tunnell's record in that game against Detroit. Let's take a look at young Jeff Comlow, back to throw for the Lions. And there it is. Krause tying the all-time interception mark at 79. And, of course, you were watching live as they were stopped trying to score after that interception. So let's take you around the league and get you up to date on all the scores. Minnesota and Detroit still scoreless now in the second. Atlanta 7, Washington 3. You're aware of that one. Now, there's a story in this game. Phil Simms, the rookie draft choice for the Giants, is in for the first time this year. He's out of Morehead State. They are scoreless. He did not start, but he has relieved Joe Pisarcik. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are also still scoreless. They're in the second. Harold Carmichael, 101 consecutive games. Miami now leading the Jets 10-7. Uwe von Schamann nailed the field goal. And Houston leading Cleveland 10-3 is the score in that game right now, and Earl Campbell put the only touchdown up on the board. It has been interesting so far to watch the Miami Dolphins. Last week, of course, it was Larry Zonka up the middle dominating the game for Don Shula. So the Jets were intent on taking the run away this afternoon. And Bob Greasy, who was playing quarterback, came out and immediately established the pass. More open, and Jimmy Cephalo scored his only touchdown. Let's take you live to New Orleans right now so you can see the young man, Phil Simms. So we will keep an eye on that story as the drama unfolds down in New Orleans with Simms now at quarterback for the New York Giants. There has been a lot of pressure on the coach, Perkins, to go with Simms as two new wide receivers trot onto the field for the Giants. We got a few seconds left. Let's see if we can watch the young man one more time. I don't know whether he'll put it up down here. Perkins, of course, was the offensive coordinator out at San Diego, and here he is, number 11. The second quarterback selected in the draft, and he's going to throw it. Coming out. Tip and dropped. He should have had it. Gray should have held on. That's it. We'll tell you more about Simms at halftime. For Jane, Irv, and Jimmy, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from New York. Enjoy the Bears and the Buccaneers. It's going to be a good one.
Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station. Don't miss The Last Resort, the wackiest resort ever, Monday night at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain on CBS.
From the outside, it looks pretty ordinary. But when you look inside, it's a different story. It's a home for wayward hubcaps. They're all over the place.
How do you know where they all are?
This is Larry Elliston. You'll meet the man who's taken such a shine to all these hubcaps. Monday at 6 on Pulse, on Channel 13.
This is no mild-mannered real estate sign. It gives you more powerful advertising, puts you in touch instantly with interested buyers all over the country, enables you to become part of the first national home warranty program. It fights a never-ending battle to sell your home faster, easier. Electronic Realty Associates presents the Super Sign, ERA. All you need to know in real estate.
Channel 13, Tampa, St. Petersburg.
You're looking at Vince Evans, the Chicago Bears quarterback, a third-year man from USC. He has passed 40 times and completed 20, and today he makes his third start of the season. He likes to throw the long one, as he did here 3 weeks ago against the Minnesota Vikings, to speedy wide receiver James Scott, number 89. It sets up a battle of the bombers today at Soldier Field because this young man, the sophomore from Grambling, Doug Williams, can really throw the long ball. He has 7 touchdown passes to his credit for Tampa Bay.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Ford and your local Ford dealers, the people who bring you the better idea, cars and trucks for the 80s. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
On a beautiful day from Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois, the NFL on CBS presents the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears. Hello, everyone. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris here at Soldier Field. The unbeaten Buccaneers, John, appear very much for real.
Well, they certainly are, Tim. Defense, defense, defense. That's what they've been all about. And now some offense this year. But if there was ever a must game for a team, it's for the Chicago Bears because Tampa Bay is 4-0. The Bears 2-2. If Tampa Bay wins, they would be 5-0. The Bears 2-3. And as you know, because of the standings last year, Tampa Bay has an easier schedule for the rest of the season. So it's a very, very big game.
And you mentioned in the pregame show the Bucs, if they stop Walter Payton, would win today.
That's going to be the key. If they stop Payton, as I mentioned, that's the key as far as Tampa Bay is concerned.
All right, they're ready for the kickoff. The Bears still looking for a healthy fullback. Roland Harper still out for another couple of games. John Skabinski gone for the season. Today they will start Jack Delaplane. The Bears will receive the kickoff. And the deep men are Brian Baschnagel, Ricky Watson, Lenny Walterscheid. It is Walterscheid from the goal line, taking Neil O'Donoghue's kickoff over the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Looks like they'll spot it at the 18. Danny Reese, number 46, first man down, made the tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There is the Bears backfield. Vince Evans at quarterback, Delaplane and Payton the running backs. The wide receivers are James Scott and Golden Richards. The tight end is number 87, Mike Cobb. Along the offensive front, you can see Albrecht and Lick are the tackles. Noah Jackson and Soria are the guards, and Dan Neal is the center, number 52. So it is first down for the Chicago Bears, 2-2 in this all-important contest this afternoon from Soldier Field as they trail Tampa Bay in the Central Division of the NFC. Leading the blocking for Walter Payton, you saw number 88, the tight end, Greg Latta, getting the start ahead of Mike Cobb on that first play, and Payton picking up about 4 yards. Well, let's call it 3 and say it's 2nd and 7.
You know, when you talk about Tampa Bay, you immediately think of defense, but we have the 2 #1 rushing teams in the NFC going in this game. Tampa Bay has a 6-yard lead over the Chicago Bears, so both teams can rush offensively. And, of course, Tampa Bay uses that 3-4 defense, which has been effective against Walter Payton in past years.
Look at that tough Tampa Bay defense, and we'll be telling you a lot about them as the day goes on as usual. Last week they did a job on the Rams. This is Payton again. Got a couple going straight ahead before he was met by Leroy Selman, number 63. Outstanding defensive end. Coach John McKay thinks he's all pro all the way and considers him to be one of the very best in the business on defense in the NFL. It is 3rd down and about 7 to go still, so a gain of only about a half a yard for Payton.
So we see the Bears' first 3rd down situation. Tampa Bay has been very good on this so far this year. Teams have only completed 24% of their 3rd down situations.
Wide right goes James Scott. Payton alone setback. They have a slot left. Evans to throw for the first time today, and the ball was tipped as he tried to get it to James Scott. And it'll bring up 4th down. It looked like Wally Chambers, the former Bear, was the man to get his hand up on it.
And that has been the key to Tampa Bay. They had a 3-man rush, just 3 rushers, and they put enough pressure on Evans on 5 blockers, and Evans was not able to get his pass off. Wally Chambers reached up there and did the key thing for Tampa Bay.
Wally Chambers, Bill Kohler, Leroy Selman, that front 3 in the 3-4 Tampa Bay defense. Parsons to punt, hits it from his 10-yard line. It's taken by Reese at the 46 of Tampa. Reese likes to return him, and he gets over the 50 into Chicago territory. Brian Baschnagel, number 84, was the man to make the hit for the Chicago Bears. A 34-yard punt, a 5-yard return. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Chicago Bears and the NFL is prohibited. Doug Williams will bring out the Bucks at quarterback. The rookie Jerry Eckwood joins Ricky Bell as the running backs. Higgins and Owens, the wide receivers. Jimmy Giles, number 88, the tight end. They come out in a slot formation right. They have Eckwood set up on the wing right. The lone running back is Ricky Bell. Owens in motion. Clearing to the sideline. Higgins has it. Right on him is Terry Schmidt, number 44. A gain of about 2 yards on the play. Good coverage by Schmidt.
Well, right to start off the ball game, Doug Williams goes to the air with the short pass. They haven't been all that successful in the short passing game, but on the long passes, they have been successful.
The offensive line, Revis and Hanna at tackles, Horton and Roberts at guard, Steve Wilson the center. Of course, Charlie Hanna, the converted defensive end, who's done so well in his first 4 games as an offensive tackle, along with the rookie Greg Roberts alongside him from Oklahoma, Outland Trophy winner. Straight ahead, this is Eckwood, the rookie from Arkansas, gets over the 45 to about the 44-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards. Hicks and Campbell, 54 and 59, the linebackers made the tackle. Rookie Dan Hampton starts at left defensive end along with Mike Hartenstein for Chicago. Osborne and Alan Page are the tackles. The linebackers, Muckensturm, Hicks, and Campbell. And a secondary of Schmidt. Of course, Alan Ellis, starting left cornerback, still out with an injury. He could be back next week. 3rd and close to 5. Williams has time. Incomplete. Morris Owens had the ball, but not long enough. He took a real good shot from Gary Fensick, number 45, and just didn't have it long enough for it to be a Tampa Bay completion. And so the Bucks will have to punt.
I'm sure Tampa Bay will come back with that play because he was open. He found the seam, and Williams hit him, but no catch, and so Tampa Bay will have to punt. It's a nice day out here. I'd say about 75 or 80 on the field. The wind is about 20 miles an hour behind Tampa Bay right now.
Steve Schubert is the lone receiver for the Bears. The punter is Tom Blanchard, the former New Orleans New York Giant.
Whoa.
Oh, he gets a good kick away. A little too good. He's right through the end zone. Trying to angle for the corner, but missed it. It will be a touchback. And first down on a 44-yard punt by Blanchard. First down for the Bears at their own 20-yard line. And we have 11:53 remaining first period. There is no score.
Welcome to the 80s and the better ideas from Ford.
Down the road, the better ideas from Ford. Better ideas for the 80s. Better ideas from Ford.
A new-size Thunderbird available with electronic readouts and America's first fully automatic overdrive.
Building cars the Ford way. Bringing the future here today. Come along, we'll show you
The first new truck of the 80s and the only 4-cylinder turbo built in America.
better ideas for the 80s.
The first keyless entry system and America's only 4x4 truck with independent front suspension.
Better ideas from down the road. The fun, Thunderbird and the truck in one. Better ideas for the 80s.
Coming October 12th.
Better ideas from Ford.
We have a few scores in from the East. The Jets lead Miami 14-10. That game is in the second quarter. New Orleans over the Giants in the second quarter 7-0. And it's Atlanta 7, Washington 6 in the second quarter.
First down Bears at their own 20. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Chicago Soldier Field for this all-important Central Division matchup. Straight ahead is Jack Delaplane. Good hole on the right side. A little cutback play behind the right guard. Cedric Brown, number 34, and the linebacker, Cecil Johnson, number 56, came up to make the tackle.
Do you think Jack Delaplane is excited? It's the first time he's ever started in the NFL. He was on the Steelers for a while. He was mostly on special teams, but the Bears have had so many injuries at fullback. Roland Harper's out, and Robin Earl has a bad toe, and Skabinski is out, Dave Williams. So Delaplane, I'll bet you right now he's probably feeling the best he's ever felt.
Having plenty of fun. 5'10", 205-pounder, four-year man from Salem College in West Virginia. Second and about 3 for the Bears. This is Payton. Payton takes a tough hit right at the line of scrimmage and squirts forward for about a yard. It was Richard Wood, the linebacker, number 54, putting the pop on him. And then Kohler came over to help haul him down. It'll be third and about a yard.
Tampa Bay has had pretty good success against Walter Payton. They've held him to an average of 3.2 yards per carry in 3 games. but he had a big game against them last year here, and he was cutting back against the grain. Did you notice Walter there looking? But the pursuit was great from the interior part of the Tampa Bay defensive line. That's what they'll have to do all day to stop Walter.
Bears in tight here, double tight end on third and about a yard. In motion is Baschnagel. They go with Payton. Payton trying to get to the 30-yard line. This is going to be very close. Stacked up by the middle of that Tampa Bay defense. They had all their linebackers right up in the middle of things. You see Wood, number 54, in the thick of it. And the last man to get up, there he is. There's Wally Chambers, the ex-Bear, number 60. He got the first down, not by a lot, but enough. And it is Bears, 1st and 10 at their own 30.
And if the viewers can watch Walter Payton's left arm, he has a small cast on it, which is covered by sponge. He hurt his arm. He has a severely bruised forearm, and he uses his forearm so much to bounce off of tacklers. So maybe you can get a good look at that and see if it hurts his effectiveness as a runner. As you see some other scores, look what Houston's doing to Cleveland.
Unbeaten Cleveland Browns, one of 4 unbeaten teams, including these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First down, rollout, Evans. Deep, he's got a man open. Cobb, the tight ball. No! Mike Cobb dropped the ball wide open at the 32-yard line. Now, Johnny, you know this field real well. There's a lot of sun out there. Could he possibly have lost it in the sun at that angle?
It's possible, but I think looking back, the sun is off to the right. He may have had some sun problems there. It was so easy. Sometimes those are the most difficult to catch. There's a flag down on the field, but notice the speed of Vince Evans as he got to the outside. Mark Cotney was covering, and he fell down on some contact earlier, as you saw him fall there, and he was looking for the ball. Maybe he lost it in the sun, but for one reason or another, Michael Cobb did not catch the ball. The penalty is against Chicago, and a big break for Tampa Bay.
And walking it back to the 20-yard line, the referee is Gordon McCarter.
They're calling Mike Cobb, I believe, for maybe offensive pass interference.
Microphone wasn't working, as you could see, and I think that's a good guess. He may have pushed off downfield.
There's Walter. Oh, no, Walter says, no. There's the chicken man. He looked like the chicken man on that move.
Trying out that new AstroTurf field here at Chicago Soldier Field. They got a new surface, a lot softer than the old one here. All right, it is 1st and 20. Bears at their own 20-yard line. Delaplane trying off tackle left behind Noah Jackson and Ted Albrecht. Got a couple of yards, maybe 3. Dewey Selman, the left inside linebacker, number 58, had the tackle.
They did call offensive pass interference on Cobb when he made contact with Cotney, so even if he had caught it, so that's the reason he was so open. That's the reason Cotney fell down.
That's a good play, I guess, if he can get away with it. He was wide open, but he had pushed off the safety. Minnesota leading Detroit 3-0 in another NFC Central Division battle. Rick Danmeyer's 40-yard field goal. Gain of about 2 on the play, so we'll call it 2nd and 18 for Chicago. In motion behind the ball is Golden Richards. And there is James Scott well offside. And he gets back on. The ball hadn't been snapped. Interesting play. Flag down. Now, what happened, I believe, John, was when Scott realized that if he did get back before the ball was snapped, that the play could continue, one of the Tampa Bay Bucks went over, and I think they'll probably rule that he was drawn over. Let's wait and see how Gordon McCarter is consulting with a couple of his linesmen on the play. And it's going to be offside Tampa Bay. Now, that is a most unusual situation.
Let's see if we can spot what happened. I can't.
There's Scott already over the line of scrimmage. No, but the ball has not been snapped. Now there's contact made by Danny Reed, and I think that's what the call is.
Well, the Bears ended up having a couple of men in motion on the play after Scott got back, so that seems rather peculiar to me.
Yes, I agree. Well, we still don't have a working microphone on our referee, Gordon McCarter, at least not that we can hear. And it is offside rule against Tampa Bay, and so the Bears chip away here with the help of a penalty to bring it up to 2nd and 11 at their own 29. Strange set of circumstances on that play. 3 wide receivers in for Chicago. Richards, Scott, and Baschnagel.
Oh, it's wide open.
Walter Payton running hard and has the first down over the Bears' 40-yard line. Richard Wood and Curtis Jordan made the tackle on him. Big play for Chicago.
The play really worked. They've run this play quite a bit, but you notice they had outside help there. There's 69, Reeve Sorey, throwing the block here that got Walter around the horn. And then here comes Wood to make the tackle. Actually, since Wood was blocked, he made a nice tackle there on Payton to bring him down. But they still got the first down, Chicago.
Both these teams send in plays from the sidelines. John McKay calls them from the sideline for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Neil Armstrong, with help from upstairs, sending in the plays and usually shuttling the tight ends Cobb and Latta, sometimes the wide receivers. First down, Bears, in the I formation. Play action. Evans has time. Chambers on him now. Deep for Scott. 2 men on him. Broken up at the 15-yard line by number 45, Jareth White. Good coverage deep.
There it is off the first down. The play action pass. You hand to Walter. You try and freeze everybody. And he got a shotgun arm as Wally Chambers comes, puts the punishment on. And it was a beautiful pass, but good coverage downfield by Tampa Bay. A double coverage on James Scott, and if I was going to double anybody, it would be Scott.
You can triple him sometimes. He's got that great deep speed. Hagen's the answer to him on the Tampa Bay offense.
It's tough to beat Tampa Bay deep.
Baltimore leads Buffalo 3-0 in the first period as we look at Neil Armstrong on the sidelines of the Bears. 2nd and 10. Richards in motion behind the ball again. Cotney picks him up. Evans, straight drop. Complete to Bashnagle at the 40-yard line. He's hit there by Danny Reese. Pardon me, Jareth White, number 45, the left corner on the tackle.
That time the Buccaneers chose to zone and double cover James Scott on the left side of the field, and Brian Bashnagle had a one-on-one situation except for the deep drop of the linebacker, and it was just an excellent pass by Vince Evans. Right there, the timing was nice.
Outstanding pass by Evans, first down, inside the 40 of Tampa Bay. And so the Bears bounce back smartly from the setback following the penalty to Mike Cobb on an open pass play. Slot formation left, and Richards starts in motion. Now they go straight ahead to Delaplane. The Bucs were ready for that. It was Lewis, David Lewis, the left outside linebacker, number 57, pulling him down just over the line of scrimmage. Let's call it a gain of 1.5 yards.
They have some real speed at the linebacker position. This defensive team has been together quite a while. I think that's part of the reason it's gelled. They've been good for the last couple of years, but I think the defensive backs and the linebackers have been together for a long time now, and it's starting to really come to the forefront.
They really know each other, that's for sure. Leroy Harris has scored from a yard out for the Eagles. They are tied with Pittsburgh, 7-7. 2nd and about 8 yards to go. Walter Payton runs away from traffic, and excellent reaction by the Buccaneers. Number 33, Mark Cotney, the strong safety, came up just as Payton was looking at some daylight outside. Payton picked up about 4. Such great speed and reaction by Payton. Hey, John, there was nowhere to go straight ahead. Bing, he was outside in a flash. Credit to Cotney for doing a good job.
I don't see that sore arm bothering Payton's performance so far.
No, his legs are fine, obviously. 3rd down, they've got about 5 to go, a little less than 5. The ball is at the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. High formation. Play action. Evans got the heat. Payton coming back has the ball. Payton is dropped. Behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of about 2, it turns out to be. But for the quickness of Vince Evans, it might have been a loss of about 42.
And this is the added dimension the Bears are looking for as Evans goes back. It seems like they have him in his grasp. There's Selman. He gets away, no whistle, even though they have a quicker whistle. He did not really have him in his grasp. Payton came back for the ball and almost sprung this for a touchdown. Believe it or not, when he dipped outside here, if there hadn't been the tackle right here, Payton could have gone for the touchdown, and it was really a saving tackle by number 54, Richard Wood.
Richard Wood, and Parsons for Chicago angling for the corner. Good try, but he missed it by about 5 yards. It will be a touchback, and the Bucs will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. We have had some exciting football early. With 4:58 remaining, first period at Chicago Soldier Field, we are still scoreless.
You dance on a river of wood. And you never forget that the spinning shapes in the cold, dark water are your only bridge home. so you keep on dancing. And when you've coaxed enough logs into place to build a good-sized town, you can finally head for River's End and Miller Time. Miller Time. Time for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life. America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
When Gail cooks up a special treat, it could be a killer.
Another piece for you, dear?
On The Last Resort, Monday right after MASH.
Well, look at this tonight on 60 Minutes. Earlier today, Fidel Castro talked for the first time in detail about the Russian troops in Cuba. Who did he talk to? Our Dan Rather. That's who. Where can you see it? 60 Minutes, of course, this evening on CBS, and that should be most interesting. First down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers following Parsons' punt to the end zone. They are scoreless. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Chicago's Soldier Field. A bright, sunshiny day. Perfect for football. In motion is Morris. Owens behind the ball, number 85. Jerry Eckwood. Eckwood out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, closer to the 30. Close to a first down. Hicks made the tackle.
Let's look at Charles Hanna, their new right offensive tackle, as he pulls out and takes Muckensturm down with a nice block. He just switched over from defense from last year, has done a fantastic job. A marvelous move by John McKay. How do you think, hey, I've got a defensive player, I'm going to make an offensive tackle out of him?
Well, apparently they talked about it often during the season last year, but with Wally Chambers' leg problems, they weren't really ready to make the move, but looks like it's been a good one. Second and less than a yard to go. In motion behind the ball is rookie Gordon Jones. This is Ricky Bell. Bell trying to get outside. Campbell pulls him down, but he has the first down. First down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ricky Bell, number 42.
And what a job they've done of rebuilding that offensive line, or I should say not rebuilding, but building it. They were 28th in offense for a couple of years. Now they're 5th in offense in the NFC, and that is a fast turnaround.
Washington back in front of Atlanta. New Orleans leads the Giants 10-0 in the second period. Williams wants to pick off. Intended for Hagan. It was Gary Fensick knocking that ball down, and nearly an interception. Like Plank was right in the middle of things there, too.
Yes, it was Doug Plank who really saved that, as there's the shotgun arm coming up of Doug Williams, who has plenty of time to throw, and it's just double coverage. They ran into the coverage with a free man right there, and he knocked it down. Doug Plank, good
Doug
play.
Plank, number 46, getting the hand on it. They had him covered. Williams threw that ball on a line drive. I mean, he can really chuck it. We have got two strong arms out here this afternoon. 2nd and 10, Tampa Bay. Split sack. Bell stays in the block. Knocked down by Hampton. Eckwood, the swingback, was the intended target, but the rookie, Dan Hampton, knocked the ball away.
Yes, he did. He saved a big gain as far as the Bears are concerned. As Hampton jumps up here, Eckwood was all by himself. The linebacker had gone down the field. And number 99 out of Arkansas, he's the Bears' #1 draft choice, who they got in the trade for Wally Chambers. And, of course, that was supposedly a big mistake by the Buccaneers because Chambers had the bad knee, couldn't recover, but he's doing very well this year, so both teams worked out.
Well, that ball was intended to a former teammate of Hampton, Gary Eckwood. 3rd down, Tampa Bay. They have not been too strong converting 3rd downs, and they've got a 3rd and 10. Let's see what they do. It's complete, and a first down. Eckwood this time catches the ball and goes out of bounds, pushed out by Livers, and they get all the way out to the 48 of Tampa Bay.
Very similar play. Chalk this up to Doug Williams, does a good job. You see Eckwood coming towards the screen at the bottom. Now the pressure's on. He has to move forward and then throws the bullet to Eckwood, who is open for the first down before Virgil Livers knocks him out of bounds. Good play by Tampa Bay, first down.
He has not been sacked in more than 90 passes.
That's something, isn't it?
He has got a quick release, and he's had good offensive line protection. Houston and Cleveland, look at that score. First down, Tampa Bay. Morris Owens in motion, number 8. Line of scrimmage. Alan Page and the safety man blitzing Gary Fenchick right into the backfield. And he lost about a yard. Let's see where they mark it.
Gary Fenchick was up there, and of course, when you get a safety in there messing up the offensive blocking pattern, you got problems. As you look at Alan Page, 220 pounds, and I'll tell you what, that's 220 pounds of romping, stomping dynamite, because he's light, but he's quick.
4 sacks to his credit so far this season. 4 games for Alan Page. 2nd and 11.
Uh-oh.
Good play, Eckwood. Right up the middle with the flow going to the right. Doug Plank, the safety, had to pull him down, and he has about 10 yards. We'll see where they mark it.
A beautiful play. You kind of call it a misdirection. It's just a quick trap, and Horton couldn't even find anybody to block, but he made a block, and Eckwood got all the way into the Bears secondary before he was brought down by Doug Plank and Gary Fenchick, but that was a nice play.
Eckwood came into this game with 332 yards rushing, 5th best in the conference, and he is certainly running hard and well here today. The rookie from Arkansas, their 3rd-round draft pick.
Well, he had some injuries in college, and they wondered whether he'd be able to stand up and take the punishment. He's proven he can do that. He has had little fumble problems. He's fumbled 4 times this year to tie Tony Dorsett for the lead in that department. But when it comes to fumbles, you got to say Tampa Bay is great. They have recovered 11 of their opponent's fumbles. Can you imagine that in 4 games?
That's terrific. They've really been the top team in the league at forcing fumbles. It is just short of a first down by about half a football, looks like. Williams has the play from John McKay. The ball is at the Bears' 42-yard line. Motion Bell. The big guy, Williams, dives for the first down inside the 40-yard line. Mike Hartenstein, the right defensive end, stopped them there, but the Bucs are on the move.
There you see the New York Jets leading Miami, which has to be a surprise, 20-10 at the half.
Miami is unbeaten coming into today's action, along with Pittsburgh and Cleveland, all in the AFC. Today you're watching the only unbeaten team in the NFC, the Buccaneers. Slot formation left, in the eye. Bell is the lead back. In motion is Owens. Ricky Bell. Works through. Good run. Gary Campbell, the linebacker from the right side, hauled him down, but he picked up 6 yards.
He cut back against the grain, found a hole, looked at Steve Wilson, and cut back off of his rump and got the yardage.
They had great balance in their running last week against the Rams. Gary Eckwood and Ricky Bell both running well. Bell had 69 yards. Eckwood had 59 yards. Eckwood sifting through traffic. Loose ball. He was hit hard by Plank. It looks like a Bears recovery. And the rookie continues to be plagued with a little fumbleitis, and he's been running so well. You got a feel for him there, but Doug Plank has knocked the balls out of a lot of hands in his NFL career, and Gary Fenchick came up with a loose one. We have 1:34 remaining first period. With the score, the Bears nothing and the Buccaneers nothing.
If a man's favorite threads prematurely lose their threads, and the seams in his slacks seem to disappear, then he needs clothes from Levi's Sportswear. Levi's slacks, blazers, and suits hold their great looks because they're sewn to the tough standards that made the Levi's name famous for durability. Men's clothes from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
Super automotive values from Sears. After 40,000 highway miles, then the 2,000-mile Pony Express route, a set of Sears Road Handler radials exceeded federal safety standards for new tires. Now buy the first Road Handler at regular price, get the second at 30% off. And now get the full power, the maintenance-free Sears 48 for a full $7 off its regular low price. Now on sale, the Sears 48, $47.99 with trade-in. You save $7. At Sears, where America shops for value.
Let's take another look at that fumble. It was a good play by Eckwood. He ran very well until he was hit by number 46, Doug Plank. Now, he's got it with one arm instead of the two there. And the fumble comes, and it's Gary Fensick who makes the recovery. But when you have a scat back type of a runner, and he's in that situation, sometimes he does not have a tendency to cover up with two hands, and he had one hand on the ball. It was jolted loose as we look at John McKay.
The Bears have first down at their own 32-yard line. Walter Payton has rushed 6 times for 23 yards. Evans 2 for 4 passing, 18 yards. He has first down here. Richards in motion. They give it to Payton. Payton running hard off right tackle. Got about 4 before he was knocked back by Dewey Selman, number 58. Left inside linebacker. And they're going to give him closer to 5 yards. 2nd and 5, Bears.
Payton has 484 yards so far this season. He runs extremely well on an artificial surface. This is the first time in league play this year that Tampa Bay has had to play on this hard artificial surface.
Atlanta upset last week by Detroit, trailing at the half against the Redskins. 2nd and 5, Chicago. Payton again. Excellent defensive play right at the point of attack by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dewey Selman is there, the linebacker Johnson, and I think the last body to get up, the first man to hit him, Richard Wood, number 54.
Let's take a look at Leroy Selman as he takes a beat on Walter Payton, plays down the line, plays off the block, and makes the tackle. In fact, there are about 3 of them there, and that's been the key to Tampa Bay. They gang tackle. They love to hit people.
So it is a loss of about a half a yard, maybe more. 3rd and 7. Payton away from one man, Kohler, but does not get much. Forced out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And the Bears will have to punt. It was Wally Chambers who finally chased him out.
Did you notice the old-fashioned straight arm that Payton gave to Kohler as Kohler came to make the tackle? It's kind of a lost art these days.
So Parsons will have to punt as the Bucs did the job defensively after turning the ball over. Baseball fans, the Phillies lead the Expos 1-0 in the top of the 3rd. The Pirates leading the Cubs 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Montreal trying to stay alive. Parsons, good punt. Now starting to hang at the 25, taken by Danny Reese. Oh, good run by Reese to the 38-yard line. Got through 3 Chicago Bears before he was stopped by the punter, Bob Parsons. And the gun sounds, ending the first period of play. At the end of the first quarter, the score. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 0. The Chicago Bears, 0.
Get ready for the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford pickup. 1980 Ford test trucks got over 1 million total miles of testing here at Ford's Arizona Proving Grounds. They have been tortured over steel-edge potholes, plunged into corrosive salt bats, and sent over the jarring Power Hop Hill. And for 1980, this new Ford has new aerodynamic design. Best gas mileage of any American-built pickup. 19 mpg EPA estimate, 29 highway. Used for comparison, your mileage may differ. Actual highway mileage will probably be less. And 19 mpg is the best of any American-built pickup. For 1980, 4x2s have tough twin high-beam suspension. 4x4s have tough new independent front suspension. Come into your Ford dealer now for a special preview of the first new truck of the 80s.
Friday night, October 12th at 11:30 Eastern, take in a magic show. Magic Johnson's scheduled TV debut as the Lakers take on the Clippers. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Friday, October 12th at 11:30, it'll be the CBS debut of Magic Johnson for the Lakers, and Bill Walton's network debut as the San Diego Clippers. Should be exciting NBA action starting our season with a special telecast Friday, October 12th. In the first quarter, the Bears rushed for 38 yards, Tampa Bay for 35. That's 2 pretty good rushing defenses at work. First down, Tampa Bay following the Bears punt. This is Eckwood. Eckwood's got running room on the right side, and he has a first down, still going, and he's got blockers. Oh, touchdown! Jerry Eckwood down the sideline for a Tampa Bay touchdown.
I think he made up for the fumble, don't you? What a great run.
61 yards, Johnny. The rookie from Arkansas.
Okay, as you see, it was a misdirection. He started left. See Greg Horton, number 64, out in front of him. He's the one that enabled Eckwood to get around the corner. They thought they had him knocked out of bounds. Doug Plank came in there with the elbows, and then he just turned it down the sidelines, tight-roped it just like a ballet star, gave a little deke to Virgil Livers, straightened him up, and then just flew into the end zone. A great run by Eckwood.
Outstanding effort, and I'm sure Doug Plank wishes that he maybe had his arms out there instead of trying to knock him out of bounds. O'Donohue has the point after, and Tampa Bay jumps into a 7-0 lead on a 61-yard run by Jerry Eckwood, the rookie from Arkansas. And some of the Bluebirds out already here in Chicago. It is only 7-0 Tampa Bay with a long way to go.
There's a paper explosion going on. It's an insurmountable problem. But Federal Express has an easy solution. We can take the paper that has to get somewhere fast and take it off your back. Documents, contracts, reports, whatever. So for as little as $16, we can pick up the stuff on your desk and have it cleared across the country on somebody else's desk overnight. Federal Express, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
October 25th, 1854. The British Light Brigade is ordered to attack from the flanks, but muddled orders result in a frontal attack, wiping out half the brigade. Someone was not listening. July 2nd, 1863. Confederate General Longstreet misinterprets General Lee's orders to attack, advancing 3 hours too late. A listening error that may have altered the course of the Battle of Gettysburg. The fact is, whether it be in battle, government, or industry, not knowing how to listen has always been one of man's greatest problems. And we at Sperry feel it's high time we recognized it, that we set up listening programs in our schools and businesses. And lest we forget how critical a problem it is, all we need do is look to the night of April 14th, 1912, when the crew of the Titanic was urgently warned of ice, but chose not to listen. Sperry, we understand how important it is to listen.
Neil O'Donohue will kick it off as Jerry Eckwood's 61-yard touchdown run, the longest run in Tampa Bay's short history for a touchdown, has them in front 7-0. A short kickoff was taken by the tight end Greg Latta, who got it to about the 27-yard line before he was stopped. And the Bears and Tampa Bay were practically dead even in the first quarter. 18 yards each passing, a 3-yard difference rushing for the Bears, 3 first downs each, and all of a sudden, bang. One play, 61 yards, and a 7-0 lead for Tampa Bay. Minnesota and Detroit are tied at 3 in the third quarter now. Benny Ricardo kicking a field goal for the Lions. First down, Chicago Bears. Delaplane and Payton, the running backs. In motion is the tight end Cobb. Vince Evans, play action. Incomplete, intended for James Scott. The ball thrown low. He was open.
James Scott had come from all the way across the side of the field. The 2 wide receivers had crisscrossed, and he was trying to thread the needle, and I think the pass was a little bit low, and so the Bears will be in a passing situation. Most teams have found what little success they can find against Tampa Bay by throwing short in front of that zone that they use. They'll have 5 players across the field and 3 deep, Tampa Bay, by the time they drop their linebackers off.
2nd and 10, Chicago Bears. Split back, Delaplane and Payton. Richards in motion from the right, goes behind the ball. Evans, good catch. Bashnagel, first down Bears at their 44. Jareth White, number 45, made the tackle.
Here's a case where that 3-man rush could not get to Vince Evans. 5 blocking on 3. They couldn't get there. Bashnagel went down the field, turned, and jumped up, made a nice catch, and White finally makes the tackle. Brian Bashnagel, who has overcome a lot of injuries and has really helped in Chicago now. The man, one of the few men, maybe the only man that played in 4 straight Rose Bowl games.
Four-year man from Ohio State, a third pick in 1976, brought 6 catches into today's game, and the Bears coaching staff really happy with his play this season. Richards in motion again, and a loose ball. Evans trying to get control of it, still loose. Bucks say they have it. Let's wait and see. Bad exchange, or a problem with the exchange between Neal and Evans.
Right there. It didn't look like Vince was expecting the ball right away. He went down. About 4 men had a chance at the ball. There it is, right there. Turn around.
It's Tampa Bay ball, Johnny. And it is Cecil Johnson, the outside linebacker on the right side, grabbing the loose ball for the Buccaneers. And they are in excellent field position at the Bears' 42.
Spread your wings in the new 1980 Thunderbird with exciting options for the 80s, like the first keyless push-button entry system. Like this dazzling array of electronic magic, fuel readout, road speed, warning lights, and Thunderbird offers the first automatic overdrive option built in America for excellent fuel economy ratings.
Coming October 12th, but see it now during this special preview week.
Now, the best Zenith ever. System 3 is even better. Even better. The sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. An all-modular chassis designed to be the most reliable Zenith ever. Most reliable. And now, computer space command remote control. 105 channels. Zenith's most advanced. Most advanced. Zenith System 3. System 3. Now, even better.
There's our lineup tonight on CBS. See Fidel Castro on 60 Minutes. Archie Bunker's Place, followed by One Day at a Time. More great comedy on Alice. Then it's The Jeffersons, and Pernell Roberts stars as Trapper John, M.D., a new show on CBS.
And you could see Vince Evans was not expecting the ball when it came. There was some confusion there.
Perhaps a missed count between Evans and his centerman Dan Neal. First down, Tampa Bay, as they try to take advantage. They lead 7-0, and going for it all. That's going to be just overthrown, intended for Ike Higgins, who crashes into that padded fence down there as he went right through the end zone. Well, Mike and Fensick on the coverage.
There was no question that he was open as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went for the touchdown right after recovering the fumble. I thought maybe he might have been able to take a little dive for this ball instead of just reaching his arms out, because he had gotten behind Terry Schmidt. Right there, take that little dive, but he chose just to reach.
All right, it is 2nd and 10 as Williams with the gun. As 2nd and long, let's see what he does here. Couple of awesome arms, the quarterback today. Eckwood, a little cutback and nowhere to go. Good defensive play by the Bears. Tom Hicks, the linebacker, and the rookie defensive end, Hampton, putting a stop on it.
And when you mentioned Tom Hicks, that was the key to that play, because he had kind of a delay blitz or a fast reaction, and he busted the timing on that play. As you look at Baltimore leading Buffalo 6-0 in the second quarter.
Buffalo, a scoring machine a week ago. The Colts still having their problems getting started with the injuries to Jones and others. Philadelphia's gone ahead of Pittsburgh 10-7 in the third period. 5 defensive backs in for the Chicago Bears on third. And about 8. Swing pass. Bell's got running room. Bell running hard as a first down to the 27-yard line. Bruce Heron, an extra linebacker in on that defense, made the tackle with help from the quarterback Terry Schmidt. But the Bucks are on the move again.
There had to be a mistake there by the Bears, because he was wide open out there in the flat. Tries to recover. Whether it was his responsibility to get out there in the flat, we'll find out later. But anyway, he was wide open.
It is first down, Tampa Bay at the 26-yard line. The unbeaten Buccaneers. They lead 7-0 and are threatening again. In the I formation. Bell and Eckwood. In motion is Morris Owens. Eckwood. Hampton has him. Hampton and Fensick coming up again from his safety position. He does so well against the run, and it's a loss on the play.
Isn't it something to see this team go up and down the field like this? You can imagine what John McKay went through those first couple of years, and then they beat the Rams last week. McKay's got to be feeling like $1 million right now.
He sure deserves to, yes, indeed. I liked his comment. He always has so many great lines. I liked his comment about his 5-year plan. He said, of course I have a 5-year plan. That's the length of my contract. 2nd and 10. There was no gain on the play. Little play action and a flare out on a screen to Eckwood. Eckwood drops the ball again. Was play dead? I believe it was. The play was ruled dead at the 15-yard line. Hartenstein on the hit. And let's see. Yes, the play is dead.
He's got to cover up on that ball when the cheese gets binding, when there's a lot of people out there. As you see, he just goes out for a quick screen. The 3 linemen come out. Hanna throws a nice block for him. Then he just turns it up the field. Finally, Mark Hartenstein trips him up, and he was definitely down before he fumbled.
So it's first down Buccaneers at the 15-yard line of Chicago. Doug Williams, sophomore professional out of Grambling at quarterback. And the throw, drills it for Owens. He can't hold on. Morris Owens with coverage from Terry Schmidt. And they're both getting up a little slowly. There was a real collision at the junction there. Schmidt gets up favoring his left arm, and he is in some pain, and that is a serious injury for the Bears. The starter there, Alan Ellis, is already out of action, although they say he's ready to come back, and now his backup Schmidt is down.
Schmidt made a good play on that as he hit the receiver, but watch number 88, Giles. He is wide open as he turns up the field right there to the right of your screen, but here is a good play by the Bears defense.
So some attention for the injured Terry Schmidt. Will return in a moment with the Bucs leading 7-0.
You survey where the land is wild and unforgiving, filling in empty places on maps that until now have been almost unknown. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Miller Beer.
The more aerodynamic shape a vehicle has, the easier it slips through the air. And that's what happened to this pickup truck. Announcing the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford. It's aerodynamically designed, so it's more slippery than last year, has less drag, with the best gas mileage rating of any American-built pickup. And there's all that Ford-built toughness, twin I-beam suspension, and big payloads, too. Come into your Ford dealer now for a special preview of the first new truck of the 80s.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see the style of the Pacific Gymnastics Championships and the power of the world's strongest men. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
The little athletes in gymnastics and the big athletes in the world's strongest men. That's next week on the Sports Spectacular, next Saturday afternoon on CBS. There's Terry Schmidt. He's apparently all right. He has at least, though, a sore arm. And the Buccaneers have 2nd and 10 at the 15-yard line. There is nowhere to go as Osborne put the stop on Ricky Bell. Mike Hartenstein there with him, and a complete shutdown of that running play.
Well, the Bucs on a 2nd down situation chose to go right up the middle, and there was Jim Osborne beating the block. Number 68, probably the most underrated player on the Chicago Bears team, Jim Osborne. And there's Mike Hartenstein in on the tackle. So we have a passing situation, 3rd and about 14, and we'll see how that rifle arm does on this one, because you got to figure on a pass, right?
I would think so. Mike Spivey, number 47, is in on the corner where Terry Schmidt plays. Schmidt with a bruised left elbow, our report from the bench area. Eckwood, the leading rusher in the game, has 86 yards on 8 carries, including a 61-yard touchdown run. Williams running and is pulled out of bounds. There was good coverage in the end zone. Hartenstein, the left defensive end, taking Williams out of bounds.
This is actually the way that the Buccaneers beat the Bears last year down in Tampa. He actually didn't force rule out, but every time he went out here like this, he had some kind of an option, but not this time, as Hartenstein does a great job, number 73, to reach him and pull him out of bounds. However, he wasn't going to make the first down anyway because he had decided to run, and he was short of the marker, so we're going to have a field goal attempt.
Neil O'Donohue from the 24-yard line, a 34-yard attempt. Only 2 for 7, trying field goals. Misses again, not by much, but enough for the Chicago Bears and their fans. And so with 9:38 to play in the first half, the Buccaneers 7, the Bears nothing.
The AC Spark Plug 5-7 get one free sales on right now. Participating outlets where you see this poster.
Thanks, AC.
Americans are learning that if their car's plugs are misfiring, a tune-up with new AC Spark Plugs can help improve gas mileage. Thanks, AC. Now's the time to tune up because AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 8 AC Spark Plugs for the price of 7.
Thanks, AC.
Tune up with AC. Buy 7, get one free.
Thanks, AC.
July 9th. Disaster strikes the Blackwood Mountains, and Homelight is there, the Chainsaw King, as rugged and reliable as the men who run him. Stop it at Steelhead Creek, and you've got a chance. And soon, you're walking out the only way you know how, a winner. When the time in your life comes to get a chainsaw, get the King. Homelight, the Chainsaw King.
More great televiewing on Monday night on CBS. On the White Shadow, find out why Reese wants to quit the team. And on MASH, Hawkeye gets caught between a wounded civilian and a military interrogator. Then a special showing of The Last Resort, followed by my favorite show, Lou Grant. It's all on CBS Monday night. First down, Bears. Jack Delaplane has gone out. Robin Earl has come in. Earl's first appearance. He's been bothered by a foot injury and a toe injury on top of that. This is Payton. Payton trying the right side, stacked up by the Tampa Bay defense. Kohler and Chambers and the linebackers coming in right behind them to pile them up. Lewis, safety Cotney coming up. Got about 2 yards.
What a terrible year for the Giants. New Orleans off to a 17-0 lead in the third quarter.
Cecil Johnson goes out. An extra defensive back is in for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Second and about 7. Richards motion behind the ball. Evans. Complete. Daschnagel at the 40-yard line. First down, Chicago. Jarvis White, number 45, made the tackle.
The Bears have gone to the 3 wide receivers, and Daschnagel is showing a knack to find the hole in that zone defense. As you see, the 3-man rush by the Bucs and the linebackers dropping off. And here comes Daschnagel, and he'll turn in the slot, in the zone there, and catches it before Jarvis White makes the tackle. However, there was a penalty on the play.
A holding call against Chicago, Johnny. So when they get something going, they lose it right back. It's happened twice so far in the game, on the penalty to Cobb earlier and here again now. And they are backed up to their 12-yard line.
Holding. Offense, number 64. Repeat, second down.
Ted Albrecht, the left tackle, guilty of holding. Gordon McCarter, the referee. The umpire, Tony Kramer. The head linesman, Bill Ross. The line judge, Jack Petty. The back judge, Ray Douglas. The side judge, Bill Quincy. And the field judge, Harmon Turkey. Second and 18. Up the middle for Scott. Incomplete. Scott wants interference. There was definitely contact from Mark Washington, the cornerback. Looked like they got their legs tangled. There is no penalty forthcoming downfield.
The Buccaneers decided to blitz that time. Here they come with a couple of linebackers, and Evans got the ball off. He threw for Scott, and you'll see Washington come over the top. The ruling was that he was diving for the ball. Let's see if he makes contact with Scott. A very close play there. It looked like he hit Scott as he was coming up and over, maybe tripped him on the way up, but it's a judgment call by the official, and since it goes this way, you got to say he made the call, and we'll have to live with it, right? We'll see.
Right. They were both up for the ball. Neither of them touched it, as it turned out. They definitely touched each other. Washington colliding with James Scott. It is third down and 18. Evans straight back. Flares it out to Robin Earl. Earl has nowhere to go. Cotney, number 33, is there. He picked up maybe 5 yards at the most, and the Bears will have to punt. Vince Evans, Bears' third-year quarterback from USC, his third start of the season. Bears have Bob Avellini, last year's starter, Mike Phipps. All look good in preseason, but Evans won the job. Parsons standing at his 1-yard line. Danny Reitz, who very seldom lets a fair catch call. Low snap. Parsons fielding it well. Reitz has got some running room. Nearly ran into his own blocker, but he still picked up 5 or 6 yards on the return. Bruce Herron, number 51, made the tackle. And Reese got the ball all the way to the 48-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 7:51 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Buccaneers.
Everybody knows small cars save gas. But we Duffies need more room. So the Duffies are here on the incredible Ford factory tour to find out what incredible things Ford is doing for the Duffies. Children, this is Ford Motor Company's incredible new gas-saving automatic overdrive transmission. Repeat.
Incredible automatic overdrive transmission.
Roger.
This is the first transmission of its kind in any American car.
Susie?
At about 40 miles an hour, it shifts into overdrive automatically.
Julie?
That makes your engine work less, so it uses less gas. Yeah!
But the most incredible news of all is that they made this transmission available in Duffy-sized cars like this Ford LTD wagon. Katie?
Ford, that's incredible.
To take the incredible Ford factory tour, write us for information.
Next Saturday, it's a firmed and spectacular bid in live coverage of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
What a horse race next week here on CBS. The Jockey Club Gold Cup from Belmont, a firmed and spectacular bid. And there's first down, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In motion is the rookie Gordon Jones. They have a wingback on the left, Eckwood, and he has the ball. The rookie from Arkansas, good coverage by the Bears, closing down the corner, a gain of about 1.5 yards on the play. Fensick and Hampton combining to make the tackle. Baseball scores for you. The Phillies continue to lead the Expos 1-0. They're now in the top of the 5th. Pirates are ahead of the Cubs 2-0, also in the top of the 5th.
So far this season, Tampa Bay has outscored their opponents 55-7 in the second quarter. So this has been a big quarter for the Buccaneers this year so far.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Soldier Field, where the Bucs lead it 7-0. O'Donoghue hit the upright with a field goal try from 34 yards out, or they might have led 10-0. They have the ball again. Screen pass, Ricky Bell. Bell is pulled down as the Bears just cut through the blocking. That was Muckensturm coming way over from the left linebacker position with an outstanding defensive play.
That time, the Buccaneers put Owens in motion across the field. Terry Schmidt had come all the way across to cover him, then had to run all the way back across the field to cover him downfield. They ran the screen the other way. Actually, not a bad play.
3rd and 5 for Tampa Bay. Muckensturm, the man who took the starting spot away from the 14-year veteran Doug Buffone at the left linebacker position. Muckensturm, a 4-year man from Arkansas State. 3rd and 5. 5 defensive backs in the passing situation. Williams drills a completion to the rookie Gordon Jones. First down, Tampa Bay at the 30-yard line of the Bears. Fensick on the tackle. Gordon Jones, a rookie from Pittsburgh, their number 2 pick.
And watch the back, Ricky Bell. He'll swing out to take the linebacker out of the action, which creates a zone. You'll see 51 going out to cover, and then Jones comes in on his hook, and he's got the short zone in front of Terry Schmidt, and that play worked like a charm. They are controlling the Chicago Bear defenders with the backs, and they're doing a good job of it.
John, that is excellent analysis. I'm sure our fans enjoy that kind of an explanation, and our thanks to our cameraman for showing us exactly what John is talking about. All right, it is first down. Tampa threatening again, and this is a tight end around. Giles, who eludes one tackler. Look at the big guy run. But he's knocked out of bounds by Livers. A gain of maybe 6, maybe 7 yards on the play.
This is an example of individual effort as Giles comes back, and I believe it was Hartenstein who got across there. He cut back, then he turned on the speed, and you see a little straight arm there. Not bad. He straight arms Alan Page, gets away from him, and gets some yards out of it.
Livert finally pushing him out. Giles, a third-year man from Alcorn State, came over in a trade from Houston, and John McKay happy with him. Another NFC Central battle. Minnesota leading the Lions 10-3. Second, about a yard and a half to go for the Buccaneers. Play action. Owens incomplete. Schmidt and Plank on the coverage. And it was Terry Schmidt who got a hand on the ball. I like that play, though.
He threw that before the receiver was anywhere near where he was supposed to be, and the receiver got there in time. Williams will take some punishment from Muckensturm after he throws the ball. But there's the cut, and Schmidt was off balance, but he still turned around in time and put his hand down there with a fine defensive player, and Doug Williams took some punishment on that one. Here's a look at it, too. Muckensturm on the blitz, number 58, as Schmidt releases the ball. There you go. There's my friend. Down he goes.
Well, that's a good play all around. Williams getting the ball away, Muckensturm making the hit, Schmidt making the knockdown. And I like the call from John McKay. Here's Ricky Bell outside. He's got the first down, and Schmidt pulls him down at about the 14-yard line. And the Buccaneers threaten once more.
You really hit on a good point there, Tim. That last play was an excellent football play by both teams, and that's the way you like to see the game played. It was excellent.
Even Owens did a good job to make a play on the catch. He just was outplayed on his play by Terry Schmidt. Excellent all-around football, but it's first down Buccaneers on the run by Ricky Bell. Came out in the I formation. Wide left is Gordon Jones. Williams, Ricky Bell, good hole, flag down. Hampton, the rookie defensive end, made the tackle about 5 yards downfield. Holding is the call, and it's against Tampa Bay.
I don't know if they called it on Charlie Hanna, number 73, or not. He made an excellent block there. You'll see him, the right tackle, as he blocks Hampton out, number 73. Now, could they have called holding on him there?
Well, we'll find out from Gordon McCarter momentarily. So the Bucs set back with a penalty. They had a good drive going here.
Holding. Number 61, offense. Repeat, first down.
Greg Roberts. It was not Hanna. I didn't think it would be because it looked like a pretty good block. He had sealed his man outside, but they called Greg Roberts from Oklahoma.
There's Coach Neil Armstrong in the red sweater. Looked like he was talking to Buddy Ryan, his defensive coordinator down there. First down and 20. Straight ahead, Eckwood. Got about 5 of it back. Took a tough hit there from Jerry Muckensturm, number 58. Good tackle.
You mentioned Jerry Muckensturm. He's the man that got through, avoided the block, got blocked slightly here, and then just reached back with his left arm and tripped him up.
Osborne, number 68, the man to finish him off after Muckensturm made the initial hit. It is second and about 17. Back, sideliner, incomplete, intended for Gordon Jones, and that Jones shows some speed of foot, the rookie from Pittsburgh. But it's third down, Tampa Bay. There's Gordon Jones, 6 foot, 190, number 2 pick this year. Buffalo leading Baltimore 7-6 in the second period. Look at this. Philadelphia in front of the Steelers, 17-7. Maybe we can get some word on Bradshaw in that game. He was banged up a little last week.
It seems like the Steelers always play just well enough to win.
Yeah, that one's a long way from being over, as is this one. 3:54 to go, first half, 7-0 Tampa Bay. Big third down play here to try and keep this drive alive. Williams is going to run. Williams does not have the first down. Gary Fensick pulling him down at about the 13-yard line.
Jim Osborne is grabbing for air right now. He thought sure he had Doug Williams on this play as Williams went back, and he surrounded in the pocket, and I believe it was 68 Osborne who had him dead to rights, and Doug says, oh no, I'm going to run. And he takes off down the field. There's Osborne coming through. Page is on the left side. And here he decided to cut back. He might have gotten the first down, and a good tackle by Fensick to prevent the first down.
What a good athlete, 6'4", 215. We'll see it again here, from a different angle.
There it is. Now he cuts to his left, and Pentic makes the good tackle.
Field goal try from the 20-yard line. That's a 30-yarder for Neil O'Donoghue. Hit the upright on his previous try. And that one is good. Neil O'Donoghue hitting a 30-yard field goal. And so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come up with another 3. And a 10-0 margin here in the second quarter at Soldier Field. Neil O'Donoghue, that is his 3rd field goal in 8 tries. Been a bit of a problem for him in the early going this season. And as you can see, the World Series of Golf upcoming on CBS this afternoon. Larry Nelson, the current leader at 7 under, followed by Bill Rogers. 4 more players at 5 under, so that should present some excitement in this final round coverage upcoming on CBS. 10-0 Tampa Bay with 2:54 to play here in the first half.
The Bucs were complaining about having to play on this artificial surface, but so far they seem to be pretty mobile. It doesn't seem to be bothering them very much. As you look at Len Walderscheid, who's going to receive this kickoff unless it's short, he will be kicking against the wind, and a strong wind. As you recall, Tim, the last one is real short.
John McKay's objection to it is to the artificial surface is just simply that it inevitably causes more injuries. He's been fairly vocal about that, evidently.
And it's hard on the legs when you practice. They practice a lot on that, what is it, Bermuda grass down there in Florida. As we look at Mayor Jane Byrne of Chicago, attending today's Chicago Bears football game.
He doesn't have to worry about shoveling snow off the streets yet. You can come to a football game and enjoy the sunshine. Walderscheid from the 15-yard line over the 30 to the 32. Number 23, Lenny Walderscheid, one of the real fine handymen on this Bears squad. Jim Obradovich, reserve tight end, made the tackle. Number 86. And it is first down Chicago with lots of time to get something on the board if they can get a drive going here. Pretty good field position at their 32.
Tampa Bay has 15 sacks so far this year, and that's pretty good considering they only rushed the 3 men.
Bucs going 40 yards in 9 plays for the 30-yard field goal by Neil O'Donoghue. Vince Evans, the quarterback. Payton and Delaplane make it Robin Earl, number 39, and at fullback again now, replacing the starter Delaplane. Evans has time. Out for Earl. Earl runs away from one man and bashes over the midfield stripe into Tampa territory at the 49. Washington and Cecil Johnson made the tackle, and Washington is down and hurt. Big Robin Earl, when he runs into you, you're hit. 6'5", 240.
One of the biggest running backs in the NFL. He's coming off a sore toe, but he really gets away from Dewey Selman, and this is the way you attack this Tampa Bay defense. You throw underneath the coverage, and then here's the way where he gets away and then turns on, and finally a host of Tampa Bay tacklers get him, and Washington got hurt on that tackle. There was quite a bit of contact there. Cecil Johnson says, that's my football, but too late.
Washington, you could see in that replay, was the first man to make full contact with Earl, coming from the right corner, and he put his shoulder right into that juggernaut, and he is feeling the effect right now.
One reason for Tampa's success this year is that they haven't had any injuries. They started the same lineup every week so far this season, and this would be their first major injury. Let's hope it's not serious.
They lost their punter, Green, to an Achilles tendon, but apart from that, you're right. They've been disgustingly healthy and enjoying it for a change. They've been through their injury problems. Next Saturday, here on CBS at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And barring anything unforeseen, you will see a firm and spectacular bid in that field, and that should be some horse race that, even if you don't follow racing on a regular basis, everybody likes to watch the great horses and say that they saw them run, and you'll have that opportunity next Saturday on CBS. Washington is up and apparently all right. Curtis Jordan, number 25, has come in on the right corner, number 25. First down, Chicago. 2:26 to play first half. They trail 10-0. For a first down to the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. Cecil Johnson, third-year man from Pittsburgh, made the tackle.
That's the extra dimension the Bears are looking for, a mobile quarterback, and you're going to see him put a fancy do on Dewey Selman. as he sees that Payton was covered. He was trying to hit Walter Payton. They had him inside-outside. So Vince Evans decides to take off, and he really dekes out number 58, Dewey Selman, coming up right here with a good move, a plant, and then a cutoff. And there was the block as he picked up the block and then put his shoulder down and got the first down for the Chicago Bears. Vince Evans talks to Neil Armstrong as Tampa Bay still leads this game 10-0 in the second quarter.
Get the whole wheat working for you.
Get whole wheat Wheaties working for you. As for good nutrition, a Wheaties breakfast is hard to beat. You see, Wheaties is made from the whole kernel of wheat. You get not only the heart of the wheat, but the wheat germ and bran fiber, too. Don't shortchange your body. Get all the nutrition that comes from a good breakfast, like a whole wheat Wheaties breakfast.
Get the whole wheat working for you.
Wheaties, the breakfast of champions.
Take care of your car at Kmart.
Your Kmart Automotive Center has the answer to your muffler problem. The zinc-coated, double-wrapped Kmart Arrestor Muffler. Have it installed by Kmart, and if anything goes wrong, they'll replace it free as long as you own your American-made car. The Arrestor. Zinc-coated and double-wrapped like the best. And best of all, Kmart price. Get it at Kmart Automotive Centers across the USA, where quality auto products are Kmart priced.
Look at this in the third period, Johnny Morris. The Jets trying to topple Miami from the unbeaten.
Well, that means Pittsburgh's losing, Miami's losing, Cleveland's losing to Houston. Tampa Bay possibly could be the only undefeated team after today's action. They're ahead 10-0.
The Bears, however, have the ball at the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. 2 minutes remaining first half. Evans has consulted with Neil Armstrong on the 2-minute drill. See if the Bears can get on the board. Play action. He wants Scott. He has it. First down at the 20-yard line. He's wrapped up there by Jarrett White.
Excellent play by Chicago. The play action and the quickness with which Evans gets back and the threat of his running has prevented the Tampa Bay linebackers from getting downfield very well and stopping those type of passes, getting in front of the receiver.
Mike Cobb is in the tight end replacing Latta. Scott goes wide left, Richards right. High formation, Pearl the lead back. Payton straight ahead. Wally Chambers wraps him up at the line of scrimmage. Payton squirts for a couple. The timeout is called by Chicago. Wally Chambers has been playing awfully well at left defensive end in the Tampa 3-4 last year after the trade, bothered by an arthritic knee. Evidently has just decided he's got to live with that pain to play, and apparently through the first 4 games has been a key figure defensively for Tampa Bay. Neil Armstrong talking with his quarterback Vince Evans, hidden by big Greg Latta, the tight end. Next week on the CBS Sports Spectacular, quite an afternoon starting at 4 o'clock, the Pacific Invitational Gymnastics Championship. This event is being held in 4 different Pacific Coast cities, October 1st through the 11th. The United States, Japan, China, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, all participating. And for the U.S., Kurt Thomas, who has a gold medal in floor exercises at last year's World Championships, certainly one of the exciting gymnasts in the world. He'll be competing. The World's Strongest Men competition. Well, if you like watching muscles, you can see guys lifting cars and tossing cabers. You know what a car is. You may not know what a caber is. What's a caber, John?
It's well, I don't know. What is it?
Well, it's like a small telephone pole, it says here. That sport originated in Scotland. That figures, I guess. In any event, you'll see all of the sports specs. All right, the Bears have 2nd and 8 inside the 20 of Tampa Bay. Scott, inbounds, no, out of bounds. Scott could not retain possession with his feet inbound. Fine pass by Evans, but just that much out of bounds for Scott.
Good timing. They just juggled the ball a little bit as they kept Walter Payton in to block the extra linebacker who was rushing, and it was a simple flag to the outside move, and the pass was right there. There is Scott. Now, if he'd have been hit and had control, it would have been touchdown. 1 foot down in, but you can see that he's kind of juggling the ball. That's close, boy. As I look at it in slow motion, it looked like he might have had that ball.
Jarvis White on the coverage, but Scott had him beaten. Ruled out of bounds. You must have the ball and your feet both inbounds. It is 3rd down and 8. Big play for the Bears. They keep the backs in. Intended for Latta, incomplete, overthrown. And it is 4th down. Bob Thomas will come in to attempt the field goal.
The Bears tried to surprise him, sending the wide receivers across the field and sneaking the tight end out there. And Mike Washington was there for the occasion and had the coverage, and it was not a good pass. It was a little bit high, so they have to settle for the field goal.
In the 4th period, Minnesota leads Detroit 13-3 in another NFC Central battle. Thomas with the ball spotted at the 24-yard line. 34-yard attempt. He's almost automatic. And he hits that one with relative ease. And Chicago gets some points on the scoreboard with 1:05 to play. Here in the first half, the Bucs with a 10-3 lead.
Let's watch Bob Thomas, who is at practice this week, was kicking them through it from 45 yards out with consistency. And this one is good as Brian Bashnagel makes the call instead of the officials. But Bob Thomas out of Notre Dame had a rough start with the Chicago Bears his first couple of years. Now he's become Mr. Automatic.
Baseball fans, particularly those of the Expos, bad news there. 1-0 for the Phillies in the top of the 6th over Montreal, and the Pirates lead the Cubs 3-0 bottom of the 5th. Tonight on CBS, don't forget you're going to see Fidel Castro with Dan Rather on 60 Minutes. And then you'll see Archie Bunker's place. There is no connection between Swallow and a new show, Trapper John M.D. with Pernell Roberts. All on CBS tonight. Stay right with us through the rest of the evening, following our football and golf coverage today. George Ragsdale is the deep man awaiting Bob Thomas's kickoff. Ragsdale, number 23 for the Buccaneers, standing at his 1-yard line. Anything different? No. Ragsdale a yard into the end zone. Good hit right at the 15-yard line by Brian Bashnagel, number 84. A very sure tackler doing his thing, and the Buccaneers will start from their own 14.
1 minute to go in the half. John McKay, for the first year, is calling the plays all himself. Let's see what he decides to do. Deep in his own territory, will he run out the clock, or will John try and go for a score?
I don't think he's going to throw on first down. How's that for a conservative guess? Wide left comes Hagan. In motion, Owens. Wrong again, Ryan. Up the middle, Owens complete. Falls down, loses the ball, Higgins has it. Well, I want to tell you, they added a little bit of excitement here with less than a minute to go in the half and a 7-0 lead.
Well, as I said, John McKay is calling the plays. He goes back off the play action. The Bears figured he would also run the ball, and he throws the ball. Mike Spivey got confused here and got twisted around, and the pass was right there. And there goes Owens with the ball. He stumbled. Actually, he had a chance there. It was almost a clip there against Hagan. But he fumbled the ball, and Higgins was getting up and alertly made the recovery for Tampa Bay. That's what makes football fun.
Owens may tell you later he was trying to lateral that, and they practiced it all week.
Yeah, he's going to say something about the artificial surface, I'll bet you that. He probably got turf toe.
Well, it was an exciting play, and more excitement coming up at halftime. You'll find out what's going on around the NFL and the other games today. Brent, Jane, and Irv will be going directly to them at halftime. Last week, a big scoring week in the National Football League, and so far today, it doesn't look like they're matching those scores, but we've got halves to go yet. Cubs are on the board against Pittsburgh on a Dave Kingman homer in the top of the 6th inning, with the Pirates lead at 3-1. Montreal losing 1-0 to the Phillies. First down, Tampa Bay out at their own 40-yard line. They've got offense to go with their defense. They are trying to go 5-0. Williams up the middle, complete to the tight end, Giles. Bensick on the tackle, close to the first down. Looks like it's going to be about a foot short. Doesn't really matter. 30 seconds on the clock. Bucs are going for some more points. Sideliner. Incomplete, intended for Owens, but it does stop the clock. 25 seconds remaining.
See, they have 2 timeouts left or 1? I believe they still have 2 timeouts, don't they?
We'll try and find out. 2 timeouts, we're told. 2 timeouts remaining for the Buccaneers. 3rd and about half a yard. Straight drop back, and the backs are in the pattern. Complete to Giles at the 35, wrapped up by Bruce Herron, the extra linebacker. Has the first down.
So they have 18 seconds to go with 1 timeout left. They complete 1 good pass down the field, 10 or 15 yards will be within field goal range. So the strategy becomes very important, whether they try and go for the field goal or try and get on the board. If they try and go for the big one on the board, they probably wouldn't get their field goal. John McKay, it's not going to rain, but he's got his raincoat on. I guess it's those afternoon showers you get down in Florida sometimes. It's not raining in Chicago. The beautiful weather here. For about the last month they've had sunshine, but come another few more weeks it'll be a little snowy. As Neil Armstrong trying to figure out situations. The Bears have blitzed sometimes, not dropped their linebackers off, and they'll come up with a surprise blitz. Let's see what they do.
First down, Tampa Bay, 18 seconds to go. You can see in the upper right-hand corner. Williams got time. The Bears in pass coverage deep for Higgins and out of bounds. Ike Higgins at the 20-yard line, but he was out of bounds when he caught the ball. Livers on the coverage. Williams is now 9 for 18, passing at 50%. He came into the game at 35. John McKay has defended that number, saying, hey, we want the big play from him. We go long a lot, and it's a lot harder for him to have a higher passing percentage. I tell him, don't worry about that.
Jimmy Giles was wide open over the middle at about the 25-yard line. However, I didn't see him go up to Williams since the plays are coming in from the sideline. Let's see if John McKay saw it. They could complete one, call a quick timeout, and have a field goal.
Bears have pass rusher Tommy Hart in and the rookie Dan Hampton out at left defensive end. Williams got lots of time, and now running out of time, he's pulled down. Hampton stayed in. They brought Hart in as an extra fast defender, took Hartenstein out on the other side. So it was Hampton, the rookie, who got him.
Notice they were going to try and go to Giles as he came across the middle, and they had him double covered, and Williams couldn't find him, so then he tried to ad-lib, and here comes Hampton, who got to the outside and made the sack. Dan Hampton from Arkansas.
Time for one more play on a 3rd and long for Tampa Bay as Hampton's sack, the first of the season against the quarterback Doug Williams of Tampa Bay, has pushed the ball back to the 46-yard line of the Bucs. New Orleans leading the Giants 17-7 in the 3rd period. And Miami getting back into the game somewhat against the Jets, Johnny. It's now 26-17 on an 18-yard touchdown pass from Greasy to Bruce Hardy in the 4th period. They've got 11:23 to go, so I guess you can't count the Dolphins out.
And you have to figure the half isn't over because Tampa Bay's going to go for it with 2 seconds to go, probably throw up a field or something like that.
Hart is still in at the right defensive end for Hartenstein. Got to get some more pressure on this last play. Williams got some time, now going deep for Gordon Jones. Lots of traffic there. He's got 3 receivers in the same area. Who's got the ball? Looks like the Bears. Fensick intercepted in the end zone. And John McKay elected to flood that corner and hope something good happened down there. And it didn't. But at the halftime, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10, the Chicago Bears 3, and let's go to New York.
One moment, please.
Back here at Soldier Field in Chicago, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead the Bears 10-3. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris bringing you the action on a wonderful sunny afternoon here in Chicago. And the scoring in that first half saw the Buccaneers open it on a 61-yard touchdown run by Eckwood in the second period that made it 7-0. And then Johnson recovered a Vince Evans fumble, Cecil Johnson, at the 42-yard line of Chicago. The Bucs marched downfield again, but Neil O'Donoghue hit the upright on a 34-yard field goal try, so it remained 7-0. When the Bucs got the ball again, it resulted in a 30-yard field goal by O'Donoghue to open the score to 10-7. And then the Bears, on a late scoring drive, came up with a 34-yard field goal by Bob Thomas to make it 10-3. And the Bucs were throwing, John. I did kind of enjoy the last drive with a minute remaining, and the Buccaneers in their own zone, throwing on first down, and you know, they made a good run at getting another score.
They came very close there in the end zone. I think that Doug Williams must have thrown that ball about 65 yards in the air from the position on the field. He really threw that ball. One thing I've noticed is that Payton hasn't carried the ball as much as he normally has, and they're using him more as a decoy, which has given Vince Evans a little bit more time to throw. As you notice, he's going off the play action, and the Bears have thrown a lot more than they have in previous games. We'll get the official statistics, but it's a heck of a football game.
All right, that's the end of the first half here in Chicago with the score. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10, the Chicago Bears 3.
Spread your wings. Introducing the new 1980 Thunderbird, a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. And with its new size and a new 4.2-liter engine, this Thunderbird has excellent estimated gas mileage and also offers the first automatic overdrive option built in America, a new engineering breakthrough.
Coming October 12th. But see it now during this special preview week.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
How you holding up? I'm all right. You want to go for 10 miles? If we make it, I'll buy you a beer. If we make it, I'll buy you a Lone Brow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's a great Radio Shack bargain for people on the go. A take-along realistic entertainment system. It's an AM/FM radio for music and news, a cassette tape player. With this built-in mic, I can record lectures, meetings, even personal notes anywhere. Right now at Radio Shack, it's only $59.95. That's $30 off. Realistic radio recorder, like having a take-along entertainment system. Now sale price, just $59.95 at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see the style of the Pacific Gymnastics Championships and the power of the world's strongest men. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back here at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Bucs leading by 7, 10-3, and a thrilling touchdown run by the rookie from Arkansas, Jerry Eckwood. And this looked like he had made a good play at the corner, Johnny, but it also looked like the Bears' Doug Plank had a shot at him right about here. Number 46.
Yes, I think when the Bears review that film, they're going to say that this touchdown shouldn't have been. There was some sloppy tackling and some great running by Jerry Eckwood here, and it put Tampa Bay in good shape, but a heck of a play, 61 yards for Jerry Eckwood, as Tampa Bay took the lead and still has the lead by a score, as you mentioned, 10-3.
Well, certainly the Buccaneers, as we indicated before the game, are for real. I don't think there are any doubters after they beat the Los Angeles Rams last week. They established themselves as a solid team. You could see them coming in the past couple of years defensively. And John McKay's attitude towards Doug Williams' passing statistics, I think, is a tremendously healthy thing for a young quarterback. And easy to forget that this is just his second year in the league. And if he is to worry about the numbers and what's written about his passing stats and so on, that could be a very unsettling thing. And McKay seems to handle his morale extremely well and saying, look, you're our big play guy.
That's right. I like his approach. You know, everybody says you got to run and establish the pass. I like the way Tampa does it sometimes. They pass quite a bit there at the beginning, and they can throw long, and there's a threat. I think it's fantastic, and I like the idea of John McKay calling his own plays. You know, a lot of coaches can say they don't blame their offensive coordinator and stuff, but the plays are coming from upstairs down through the coach, and he okays it. But John McKay is talking with them upstairs, but he actually chooses the play, so he's going to take responsibility for everything that's called. And last week, I think he called a halfback pass and a reverse in 2 consecutive plays. That's exciting football. And you know, the thing is, do you know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't even have a scrimmage during the training camp?
That's an interesting point, John. I was glad you brought it up because it was something I wanted to talk about today, that McKay had done that in the first few years, perhaps from the influence of his assistant coaches, but he has reminded everybody that he didn't do a lot of that in college or when he coached the college All-Stars and so on. What are your feelings as an ex-player about not scrimmaging in training camp and during the week?
Well, I never thought you should hit very much stuff, but coaches always did. But I always thought you had to hit a little bit to get used to it. But I guess he knew he had people that would hit, and he had a defensive team that are known as being hitters, and he just wanted them to stay healthy. They had 17 guys injured last year, and I think 15 the year before. And maybe it paid off in that respect because they haven't had a serious injury this whole entire regular season. So that could start a whole new trend. Maybe no scrimmages in the NFL during the training camp. I think you're going to see the Buccaneers throw to Jimmy Giles more in the second half. He was open 3 or 4 times that I saw that they didn't get the ball to him. And also, I think as far as the Bears are concerned, we haven't got the official stats yet, but they have not used Walter Payton as much as they have in all other games. So whether it's because of his arm being sore or whether it's because they know that Tampa would, you know,
really
key on him, it would open up other things, and it has opened up other things because most of the Bears' success in the first half, what little they had, was to other people, not so much Walter Payton.
Tampa Bay's defense has been predicated on giving up the short pass and not the long one. They'll let you have those and figure that their outstanding linebackers, who are great athletes with speed, will run you down before you make enough serious gains. And I think that Evans likes to throw long and does throw long well. And they're down by a touchdown, so they're going to have to keep throwing in the second half, even though, you know, they'd like to have Payton running better. Well, we've got a feature coming up for you right now we'd like you to see because it has beautiful Jane Kennedy involved. And we're going to go to our studio in New York to show you this special feature with Jane Kennedy.
Recently, a talented videotape editor from Los Angeles named Paul Hammond put together some unusual footage from CBS, NBC, and ABC to classical music. Here's what Maestro Hammond has orchestrated.
Floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
How long do you want your car to last?
Forever. Now, don't laugh. She's already gone over 90,000 miles and without a major engine repair. I try to take good care of her. I give her regular checkups. And the only motor oil I ever use is Quaker State.
Quaker State can't promise everyone mileage like Mr. Miles gets, but Quaker State helps cars last, and that's a fact.
Guess that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in America.
All right, we're set for second half action. George Ragsdale is on the goal line for Tampa Bay, awaiting the kickoff from Bob Thomas. The Bears trail by a converted touchdown. And Tampa Bay will have the ball first here as they defend to our right in white, the Bears to our left in the dark jerseys. And it's Ragsdale from his 4. Running the wedge right up the middle. Good tackle on him by Bashnagel at the 25-yard line. He rolled forward to the 29, where the Buccaneers will start. Muckensturm finishing him off at that point. And it'll be Tampa Bay ball with Doug Williams bringing them out. Eckwood and Bell, the running backs. Eckwood with a 61-yard touchdown run to his credit, the only major score of the game so far. Across that front, Wilson at center, Robertson, Horton the guards, Revison, Hanna the tackles, Jimmy Giles the tight end. Higgins is wide left. But hit behind the line by Hampton, his former teammate at Arkansas, and he helps him up. But he enjoyed that whack.
Dan Hampton is towards the top of your screen there at the defensive left attack end, and he just comes right into the play. Nobody even hit him, and there he was. Big Dan, the old bear hug on his old teammate.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Ball at the 26-yard line. Wide right is the rookie Gordon Jones. Larry Mucker, one of the Tampa receivers, was hurt on a punting play. Suffered an injured thumb. Pass complete to Eckwood. Wide open, first down, out near midfield, flag down after the catch was made. Hicks and Livers put the tackle on him.
Boy, did Alan Page get through there and lay the wood to Doug Williams after he threw that ball. And I may have noticed the turf toe on Eckwood, too. Did you notice how he slipped when he was trying to make his move? He might have had little problems there, not being used to this type of a turf.
Flipping against the Buccaneers after the catch was made.
Let's take a look at Doug Williams as number 82, Alan Page, gets through there and takes him down, but the pass was complete, then the penalty, so they're going to be back.
Page has 4 sacks, nearly had another one. There's been only 1 sack of the Buccaneers today, and the first of the season against Doug Williams. Here's referee Gordon McCarter.
Personal foul, clipping, number 81, offense, still 2nd down.
Ike Hagan's guilty of clipping. It is 2nd and about 7 with the ball at the 30-yard line.
The Bears are not red dogging or blitzing very much today either. They usually do a lot more. I guess they're afraid to put the blitz on. Williams has been so good at picking up the receiver when they put a blitz on.
Larry Mucker, Morris Owens, 85, comes left for the Bucs. Williams, Hampton in pursuit. It's incomplete, intended for Bell, nearly intercepted on the deflection by Campbell. Gary Campbell, number 59, off the hands of Ricky Bell. Incomplete.
Let's take a look at the rush as 4 rushmen come. The front 4, Williams can't find his receiver right away. He moves out. He could have run here, and then he throws. He goes for the hand catch, and look at that. Almost an interception, then almost a reception. Good pressure put on by the Chicago Bears on Williams with the 4-man rush, and then he goes out here. And right here is we had to face the choice, either run or pass. He decided to pass.
3rd and 7, Tampa Bay. Opening minutes of the 2nd half. For Hagan's interception. Livers knocked out of bounds by Horton at the 25-yard line of Tampa Bay. Williams simply overthrew that one, and Livers was waiting for it.
You hit it right on the head, Tim. They simply overthrew the ball. There wasn't all that much pressure, and they had Hagan short and deep, and it was way over his head, and there was Virgil Livers, number 24, to say, look, Mom, look what I got. So he took off up the field. He can run a 9.500. Got as much as he could before he was finally knocked out of bounds as the Bears have it on the 25-yard line.
The home crowd alive as Evans brings him out. Richards in motion back toward the ball. Straight ahead is Walter Payton. Robin Earl and the linebacker David Lewis having a little personal shoving battle going on. Payton got about 3, maybe 4. Let's see where they spot it on forward progress. We'll call it a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. The ball at the 22-yard line of Tampa Bay. Robin Earl, number 39, in the fullback position with Payton. Earl coming off a foot injury. Miami has scored on a field goal by Ova von Schaman to close the margin to 6 in that game. 2:35 to play in the 4th quarter. Here comes the blitz, and he's sacked by Cotney, the safety coming from outside right.
The Buccaneers saved it for when they needed it. He got in up at the top of your screen there. You could see Golden Richards spotted him, but there was nothing he could do about it. And here comes Cotney, and there was nobody to pick him up and block. It was almost impossible for an interior lineman, as you saw Noah Jackson in desperation trying to come back and help out. The blitz, safety blitz, worked for Tampa, and it has put the Bears in a 3rd and about 17-18 situation.
That's the first Buccaneer sack of the day. Each team has had 1. Latta out, Cobb in motion Richards for the Bears. Behind the ball, picked up by Cotney, and some kind of a miscount. Flags everywhere. Evans pulled back. The Buccaneers followed him back, and so we must assume the infraction will be against Chicago. He came back without the ball.
Full start. Quarterback came out without the ball.
That is the second miscue between Neal and Evans. Teams cannot afford that. Latta comes in, and the fullback Earl comes out. Third down and long.
Look at this. Philadelphia 17, Pittsburgh 14. You mentioned Greg Latta. Oh, we have a final here. Minnesota 13, Detroit 3.
10.
No, 10. I'm sorry. 13 to 10.
Vikings keeping their hopes alive in the Central Division. Third down and very long. Scott comes wide right. Lone setback is Payton. Evans for Payton, complete. Flag down in the backfield. Payton still going. Picked up about 13 yards, depending. No, they're going to spot it back outside the 30-yard line.
Leroy Selman put the pass rush from behind Vince Evans. He was trying to get there, did not get there in time. There's going to be a penalty against Chicago. Watch Selman. He's the defensive right end. There's Ted Albrecht, number 64, blocking on him. Selman gets around and comes just too late as Evans hits Payton, and he bobbled the ball, but it looked like he kept control. Got up.
Interesting call there, because he looked like he should have been able to continue to run. He was not downed by a Buccaneer, but they spotted the ball at that point. However, it really doesn't matter because of the penalty upcoming against the Bears anyway.
Boy, this drive is going the other way for the Chicago Bears.
Holding, number 64, offense, repeat third down.
They called it on Ted Albrecht on the blocking on Selman. When Selman got by him, apparently he figured he reached and grabbed. This watch at the top of your screen, as I said, the left tackle 64 blocking on 63. Their arms are a little bit tangled right there, and that's where he's calling him for pulling him back, and there was the penalty.
All right, it is third down. Bears way back out now near midfield. Evans intercepted. Mark Washington. It was tipped by the linebacker Lewis, and then picked off by Mark Washington at the 25-yard line of Tampa Bay. And it looks like another flag is down back at the line of scrimmage.
Here's the play again as the ball was deflected up and over James Scott, and then came the interception. And they call a penalty against Tampa Bay on this play. It stepped off 5 yards.
Scott made the tackle.
Offside, number 60, defense, repeat third down.
Now a break for the Bears there. Wally Chambers, the former Bear, offside. The ball advanced now to the 42-yard line of Tampa Bay. 5 defensive backs in for the Bucs. Obvious passing situation. Wide right comes James Scott. Slot formation left. Everybody into the pattern. Evans too high for James Scott, who took quite a hit from Jareth White. Downfield at the 25. And it'll bring up fourth down. Chicago will have to punt. Over the unbeaten Dolphins, a 71-yard touchdown pass to Speedy Wesley Walker, 33-20, 2:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. Baseball scored. Pittsburgh leading the Cubs 3-2 bottom of the 7th. Phillies lead Montreal 2-0 top of the 7th. Parsons angled punt. Good bounce down by Schubert at the 1-yard line. Steve Schubert fielding that high bounce at the 1-yard line. And Tampa Bay will start from there with 12-12 remaining. Here in the third period, the Buccaneers lead 10-3.
Would you adopt a child who is handicapped? It takes a lot of patience, a lot of guts. I'm Steve Wilson of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'd like for you to meet some people who are doing something pretty remarkable, finding permanent homes for handicapped children. It's a United Way agency, and they place kids that other adoption agencies just can't find homes for. There are a lot of parents who have already adopted a child with special needs, also volunteer to come in and talk with the parents who are considering adoption. It made me think, what would I do in their place? These kids and their parents, they're really amazing. This is a unique service here in the Tampa Bay area, but it's typical of the way the United Way works. Thanks to them, and thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Soldier Field. We've got a close football game going here. The Buccaneers starting from their 1-yard line, following a good punt by Parsons and an alert play by Steve Schubert, downing it on one bounce at the 1-yard line. Jerry Myers coming in defensively for the Chicago Bears, number 74. And see if they're going to bring Hartenstein, number 73, out. The Bucs have Johnny Davis, number 38, in at running back with Ricky Bell. First time he's been in today, and there seems to be some kind of confusion here. Now they're coming back upfield. What is happening here?
Who downed the punt, had been out of bounds, returned, and was the first man to touch the ball. That is a 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Well, how about that? Steve Schubert apparently stepped out of bounds on his way downfield, came in and touched the ball, and that's a no-no. You have to stay in the field of play.
That's the first time I've seen that called on passes. Now, a pass receiver, if he goes down out of bounds and comes back in, but I can see that the rule applies, but why so late on the call?
Well, it took them a long time. We got in a couple of commercials while they were making up their minds out there. Everybody was ready to play from the 1-yard line. Now, Art McNally, the league supervisor of officials, is in attendance here today. And no doubt that is who's on the other end of that line with Gordon McCarter. He's not talking to Mayor Jane Byrne, I can guarantee you that.
No, that was a very much of a delayed call, so obviously if we go against the Bears, we'll have to punt once again from 5 yards further back, but the change in yardage is dramatic. I mean, they would be 1st and 10 on their own 1.
Well, in a 7-point ball game, my goodness, that's a very big play. Anything can happen at the 1-yard line. They could come up with the ball down there and been in at least great field position. The NBA on CBS begins with our special Friday night coverage, 11:30 Eastern Time, October 12th. And you will see the Los Angeles Lakers introducing Magic Johnson against the San Diego Clippers. Many think with Bill Walton a serious contender for the NBA title.
The only thing I can think of is that one of the officials got to thinking about it, and said, hey, I saw him go out of bounds. He was the first man, and said, hey, that should have been a penalty. And rather than let it go, decided he better correct the situation, even though it would be very unpopular here in Chicago.
Procedure, the man who downed the punt had first gone out of bounds, came back in, and was the first man to touch the kick. That is illegal. 5 yards, still.
The Bears. Parsons will punt again. He's standing at his own 38-yard line. Gordon McCarter explaining it. And as you can see, not to the satisfaction of Bears fans here at Soldier Field. Parsons will try again for the perfect punt. Danny Reese cancels that idea at the 10-yard line. Reese over the 20 to the 23. Well, that is quite a difference in that play, for sure. Lenny Walderscheid put the tackle on Reese. It is now final. Pittsburgh falls from the rank of the unbeaten, 17-14. Buffalo whipping Baltimore now, 21-6 in the 3rd period. Next week, the Bears are at Buffalo. Johnny and I will be there to bring parts of the country that game.
The Eagles are now 4-1 in their division. That's not bad.
That's a good football team, and Dick Vermeil has done an outstanding job since taking over as head coach there. Doug Williams, 10 for 22, 123 yards. First down, Buccaneers. Eckwood in motion. Bell met by the linebacker, Hicks, number 54. Got a couple. 4-year man from Illinois. Tom Hicks bothered with injuries the past couple of years, but he can play in the middle. Pittsburgh Pirates have gone in front of the Cubs 5-2, top of the 8th, trying to clinch their division championship. The Phillies lead the Expos 2-0 in the top of the 9th. So the Expos batting with one more time at bat at home before their season will apparently be over. Hampton comes out for the Bears. Hart is in at left defensive end, number 53. Spivey is in on the left corner, number 47. 2nd and 8. Williams to throw. Sideliner complete to Higgins. And he has a first down at the 35-yard line.
Well, that ball went like a shot, didn't it?
Boy, he can throw. He is impressive.
The Bears using the normal 4-man rush. Williams just goes back, the down and the out. Boom, right in the breadbasket, out of bounds, first down. That's the way football's supposed to be played. Here's the ground level action as Williams gets back in the pocket pretty quickly, just like Vince Evans does. And he watches, and he saw that he did a good job.
Out of the eye, first down Tampa, Eckwood. Number 43, good defensive play. Splitting through the blocking on the right side. Gary Fensick, who is so good against the run, coming up from a safety position.
He did a great job. He came on and challenged Roberts, the pulling guard, and still made the tackle. Good play by Gary Fensick.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Gordon Jones comes in, number 84, with the play from John McKay. Jones and Higgins, the wide receivers.
They still haven't thrown to Giles that much, and he's been open a few times.
Good opportunity here. 2nd and 10, motion, and it was by Giles. He throws to Jones, but that play will go for naught. Flags everywhere. It appeared to be Giles moving before the ball.
I shouldn't have mentioned his name. He has been blocking very well for Tampa Bay, and he's a tight end who can get down the field. This time he got down the field a little too quickly, and it cost his team.
Procedure penalty signaled against the Buccaneers. 10:29 to go in the 3rd period.
There is Giles, number 88. The two of them actually
Ball
moved.
start. Number 61, offense. 2nd down.
So there were a lot of that moved at the same time, and there was obviously some confusion on the snap.
2nd down, 15 to go. Ball at the 30-yard line of Tampa Bay. They lead 10-3. Jim Ryan and Johnny Morris bringing you the action on a beautiful day in Chicago. Williams wants to throw. He's got lots of time. The flag is down. Incomplete pass intended for Giles. Had one hand on the ball, couldn't haul it in. Ball was sailing a little.
They really had Giles covered this time, and Williams had to wait and wait and wait, and then eventually your linemen are going to hold. As he came down, curved around the linebacker, Tom Hicks, who was just looking at the man, and there he is right there in the pass as a little league, was having to hold your block so long, eventually somebody's going to get called.
So they'll mark off some more yardage, another 10. Second down at 25.
Holding.
Now.
Number 75, offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
Dave Revis, the left tackle, guilty of the holding.
I'd say we have about 58,000 fans here in Soldier Field with a new artificial surface and some new stands. Certainly not a new stadium, but not bad either.
High formation for the Bucs. Eckwood nearly collided with his quarterback Williams on the exchange, and that made it a somewhat slow start. He got only 3 or 4 yards at the most. Hampton, number 99, and the linebacker Muckensturm, number 58, put the stop on him.
Now we have a 3rd down and very long situation, so John McKay's brain, I'm sure, is churning and churning. He sends in the play. What do they do? To get the first down, you got a long ways to go.
Morris Owens brought the play in, and he comes wide left. Higgins wide right. Giles moves over to make the strong side left. Flag down again, and play call before Williams throws it anyway, but it's all over, and so Plank gives Higgins a little extra shot. Well, you know, There's a situation where Williams shouldn't have thrown the ball. He wound up getting his own man popped there, and you could say Plank shouldn't have hit him because the play was over.
Illegal formation. A tackle was uncovered on the first set.
Actually, that was a love tap for Doug Plank.
Yes, it was. A very gentle hello for a hard-hitting safety man, Doug Plank. Illegal formation to call, and that must have occurred when they moved the tight end Giles over to make the strong side on the left. Williams questioning.
Illegal formation. The tackle was not covered by an eligible receiver on the first set.
Well, all right.
What did he say?
The tackle wasn't covered by an eligible receiver. That means that there was not a wide receiver over there on that right side after they had taken Giles out of there. Third down and 30. Eckwood. Not much. I think Coach McKay was prepared to punt.
I think he said, listen, we've tried to get a playoff for 5 minutes, so we might as well just run the ball and punt and get it over with.
I'd like to see him punt on third down there just to make that point stronger.
He had a great quote. He said, Payton's so fast he can cut on a dime and leave you 2 quarters change. He had some great quotes. Did you think he was happy last week when they beat the Rams on television and back in L.A. they were watching?
Tom Blanchard in to punt, standing at his own 10-yard line. The deep man is Steve Schubert, number 85, awaiting the punt at the 34. Blanchard's punt coming down at the right at the 34. Schubert met by a sea of white jerseys. The flag is down. He made a good return through traffic over the 40 to the 43. Let's see what the call is. Rick Burns, rookie running back, made the tackle on him. But the flag down could well be a clip against Chicago. 40-yard punt for Blanchard. Well, the Dolphins didn't quit down there. Greasy passed to Nat Moore for a touchdown from 6 yards out, but the Jets hung on to win it 33-27. Big win for the Jets, and Miami no longer unbeaten.
The Bears had good field position, but now they have not so hot field position.
Personal foul, clipping number 37 receivers during the return. First down.
Willie McClendon, rookie running back for the Bears, caught for clipping.
Number 37, you got to look at it right there as he was falling down there after the clip, but right now we have it still Tampa 10, Chicago 3.
Welcome to the 80s and the better ideas from Ford.
Down the road, the better ideas from Ford. Better ideas for the 80s. Better ideas from Ford.
A new size Thunderbird available with electronic readouts and America's first fully automatic overdrive.
Building cars the Ford way. Bringing the future here today. Come along, we'll show you
The first new truck of the 80s and the only 4-cylinder turbo built in America.
better ideas for the 80s.
The first keyless entry system and America's only 4x4 truck with independent front suspension.
Better ideas from down the Ford for fun. Thunderbird and the truck in one. Better ideas for the 80s.
Coming October 12th.
Better ideas from
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see the style of the Pacific Gymnastics Championships and the power of the world's strongest men. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, next week on the Sports Spec, looks like another entertaining afternoon of sports competition. The Pacific Invitational Gymnastics Championship. You'll see Kurt Thomas of the U.S. against some of the best from around the world, including a Chinese team. And the world's strongest men. They'll be lifting cars and tossing cabers and flexing muscles and having all kinds of fun. First down for the Chicago Bears. At their own 25. Robin Earl going straight ahead. Got a couple, maybe 3. Backed up by the middle of that defense. Leroy Selman, number 63, the right defensive end. The man to stop him.
As you see, Neil Armstrong sent Greg Latta in with the play. The Bears have won 7 straight games here at home at Soldier Field, which is pretty good percentage. They're much tougher at home.
The last 5 regular season and a couple of preseasons?
Yes.
Well, they're still very much in this ball game. There's lots of time remaining. 8:09, third period. They trail by only a touchdown. Second and about 8. Evans up the middle for Latta. Can't hold on. Incomplete. Jarrett White nearly picked it off on the deflection. Pass a little high. Latta couldn't quite pull it in.
Vince Evans, they blitzed one linebacker up at the top of your screen, but Latta went right down the middle of the field, and it was there. The pass was there, and he found the slot, but he couldn't quite hang on to it. And there's Jarrett White almost with an interception for Tampa Bay. Notice all those Buccaneers around there, 5 white jerseys and 1 dark one.
Buffalo Bills leading Baltimore 21-6 in the third period. Our latest score from there. There have been 12 penalties in this game, and here in the third period, it has really taken the rhythm and the tempo out of this football game. Both teams would like to get it back. Evans on second down, and that's complete to Payton out of the backfield. He's got 3 bucks waiting for him, but he has the first down yardage with a good effort, typical Payton effort. Cotney and Richard Wood stopped him, but not before he got the first down.
Well, he sneaked out of there and got underneath the linebackers who were dropping down to their coverage. That's what the Rams did against Tampa Bay last week, but still only garnered 97 yards on rushing. There you see Payton as he sneaked out, just came across the middle, and Evans was waiting for him. It was a planned play, and there are the linebackers and the defensive backs way downfield as finally a host of tacklers come up, including Curtis Jordan, number 25, who was in on that situation.
First down, Chicago. Their own 37. Swing pass to the screen out there, and it's James Scott on a flanker screen, but it was broken up neatly by the right side of the Tampa Bay defense. Richard Wood was there. So was the cornerback, Washington.
And there's just a wide receiver screen. He went down a couple of steps, came back. The line comes out in a hurry, but not too much yardage. Boy, look at that block by Noah Jackson. He came across. That's 270 pounds. He said, I got you.
A gain of about 2 on the play. There's a later score in that Buffalo-Baltimore game. The Bills opening it 28-6 in the third period. Scott goes wide left. Golden Richards wide right. Richards hasn't had a pass thrown to him yet.
3-man rush.
Evans going deep for Scott. He's one-on-one with Washington. Just overthrown.
Well, that ball landed on about the 5-yard line, the 10 or the 5, and he threw it from his own 30.
Make it
65 yards at least in the air.
Make it Cedric Brown. Well, no, Washington, I think, was the man step for step with him there, and then Cedric Brown coming back to help, but it was really a one-on-one situation.
The Buccaneers are not putting that much pressure on Vince Evans with a 3-man rush, and that is why he's getting time to throw the ball, throw downfield, and he has not been pressured all that much.
We mentioned the penalties earlier, John, just to give the fans an idea of what effect they've had. Tampa's taken 7 for 55 yards, the Bears 5 for 50 yards, and as we pointed out, most of them occurring here in the third period.
The one time they got to Vince was when they put that safety blitz on.
Third down. Let's see if the Bears can keep their drive alive, trying to get out of their own zone. Evans scrambles out of there. Vince Evans, good individual effort, got back near the line of scrimmage. Wally Chambers, the man to put the stop on him. Help from Richard Wood. He got about a yard, but it brings up 4th down.
Let's take a look and see how many men they brought. Just 3 to begin with. See, a 3-man rush, and they figure they can get somebody through, get enough pressure on him to force him to run, and that time they did, as the big 3 was after him, but he got away from Kohler, and eventually Wally Chambers, number 60, tripped him up, and here's the punt.
Parsons punt, good one. Backing up Danny Reese to the 5-yard line. Reese has got some room. Running hard, a flag is down. He's over the 20 to the 21-yard line. And likely a clip coming up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, nullifying a fine return by Reese.
I think it was number 33, Mark Cotney. He threw a block, which wasn't necessarily a clip, but you can't hit anybody low on a return. That's a new rule, as you know. and they're going to get him for that, so Tampa Bay's going to have bad field position.
52-yard punt by Parsons.
Personal foul, blocking low during the return.
You got it, Johnny. You cannot block below the waist under new rules in all kicking situations, and that's a safety decision and a good one by the league.
And sometimes it's hard for the players in the heat of battle to they're so used to it. It's been that way for so many years. If you could cut a guy on a legal block, it was legal. Now you have to go away from your instinct and not do it, and sometimes you forget what the situation is because you can do it on normal scrimmage plays.
Blocking low by the receivers during the return. First down. What?
Seattle leading Kansas City 3-0 in the first period on an Efrain Herrera field goal. And we've got a timeout on the field with 5:27 remaining in the third period. The Buccaneers lead the Bears 10-3. They have a first down at their 5.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where's that husband of yours?
Okay, watch your back. Coming through.
Is that all you carried up? Is that all? This is Lowengraf. So what are we celebrating? This is the second year we're sharing this house. I didn't think we'd make it through the second week.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
I shouldn't say this, because you might think I'm serious. But here's to good friends. All right.
Usually people don't change.
You've been off the job a long time.
What?
But you still had money coming in every month. You had a nationwide insurance disability income plan to help take care of things. Things important to your family. Good plan?
Super. Everyone loves the trap.
And important to you. Part of Nationwide's blanket protection for your family or your business.
Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide is on your side.
New Orleans has gone in front of the Giants 24-14. The Giants have their rookie quarterback Phil Simms in action in that game. First down, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lead 10-3. In motion is Morris Owens. First down pass from his end zone is blocked by Hampton. Hampton got a hand on that. The big guy, the rookie from Arkansas, 6'5", 256-pounder.
Hampton, that's 2 for him. He 3 Hannah. Now, you can see right here, he spots Williams, times his leap perfectly, and knocks it down. Good play.
Really good play. He was blocked well by Hannah. Still made the big defensive play.
And he's only 20 years old. 20.
They've got another fine rookie defensive lineman, Al Harris. Their first 2 picks in the draft, and Harris injured, has a knee injury, but they expect him back before the season's out. Ricky Bell. Bell pulls his way over the 5-yard line, picked up maybe a yard and a half at most.
You can kind of sense the feeling of the momentum of this game is changing. The Bear defense has come alive as you look at this final score. Cleveland goes down the tubes as far as being undefeated. It was Houston 31, Cleveland 10.
Pittsburgh, another unbeaten, has already lost. It's now final in New Orleans. The Saints 24, the Giants 14. The Giants are winless. Cincinnati leading Dallas 3-0 first period. It's just far field goal. Third down, about 9. 5 defensive backs in the passing situation for the Bears. Deep sideline, out of bounds. Hagan was the intended receiver, but Williams just chucked that out because there were 2 men there on Isaac Hagan. And so the Bears defensively playing very soundly throughout the afternoon. Really only the one big error on the touchdown run, the long 61-yard run by Eckwood. Otherwise, they have shut down Tampa.
Now you're going to see a pretty good field position by the Bears because Blanchard's kicking against the wind.
Standing near the end line. Deep man is Schubert. Waiting for it at the 45 of Tampa Bay. Blanchard. Punt drops at the 38. Schubert comes straight ahead. He's met by number 51. That is Dana Napzig, a reserve linebacker. But he made a good return, and the Bears have good field position. They'll spot the ball at the 32-yard line of Tampa Bay, and so the Bears have a great opportunity here. They're down by a touchdown.
New car prices got you on the run? Get a great car buy at Hertz Buy a Car. We sell only the best cars from the Hertz Rent-A-Car fleet, and we give you the complete service and maintenance records so you know exactly what you're getting. Hertz Buy a Car. Call toll-free for nearest location.
Why have over 1 million people Midas-sized their brakes? Was it because they know Midas has brake mechanics that are specially trained? Was it because they know Midas has the right brake parts in stock? Or was it because they know Midas has over 20 years' experience under the car? Well, whatever the reason, it certainly was no accident. It pays to Midas-size your brakes.
Next Saturday, it's a firmed and spectacular bid in live coverage of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Chicago Bears in excellent position at the 32-yard line following Blanchard's punt. Tim Ryan and John Morris with the action here as we look at John McKay wearing the white hat on the Buccaneers sideline. Vince Evans brings him out of the eye. Ricky Watts, rookie wide receiver, is in, number 80 for the Bears. He's in motion behind the ball. Straight ahead is Robin Earl. Earl dives through a tackler, Bill Kohler, over the 30 to the 27-yard line. The hopes of the Montreal Expos for a division championship are all over. They were defeated by the Phillies 2-0. The Pirates have won that division.
Pirates happen to blow that game, then Montreal would still be in it if they win both games tomorrow. See? I studied that this morning when I got up and read the paper.
Johnny, we've got some bad information here, and you're on the spot. 2nd and 6. Walter Payton trying the right side. Got to about the 25, really stacked up. Kohler, the first man to hit him. Cotney coming up from safety. It'll be 3rd down and about 5.
So this is a key play for the Chicago Bears because they've had good field position. They have a 3rd down and about 5. And if they don't get the first down this time, to give Tampa a little bit of inspiration, you might say, because Tampa's offense has not done anything this year. The defense has kept them in, this second half.
Greg Latta brought the play in. Evans rolling. He's going to run it, and he does not have it. He's out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and the Buccaneers have held. So the good field position for the Bears following Blanchard's punt. Good defensive work by the Bears. Didn't help. Now, is there a flag down again?
No, they're going to try for the field goal.
All right, 4th down. At the 25.
It's going to be about a 42-yard field goal.
Pittsburgh has defeated the Cubs 5-3, and that does mean that
you got it. You got it.
All right. Bob Thomas from the 32-yard line, a 42-yard try, and it is good. Bob Thomas, 42-yard field goal. And so the score, the Buccaneers 10, the Chicago Bears 6.
Announcing a gas-saving breakthrough from Ford Motor Company. The first and only automatic overdrive transmission in any American car. When your car reaches about 40, Ford's new transmission automatically shifts into overdrive. The result? Your engine runs 1/3 slower for increased highway fuel efficiency. It's one of many engineering improvements that helped 1980 Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln cars average over 120 more estimated highway miles than last year on 20 gallons of gas. That's incredible. Fully automatic overdrive, only at Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln dealers.
Life of Georgia has millions of futures to protect. And one way we do this is with solid investments. In a hydroelectric plant in Quebec, a helicopter company in Oregon, energy research in Wyoming, a university medical complex in Alabama, the city of Atlanta, and many others. We're Life of Georgia. We're one of the largest life insurance companies in the United States, and we're working to ensure your future.
Bob Thomas banks one off the upright from 42 yards out, so the Bears did not come up empty. The Bucs stopped them from going in for the touchdown, but Thomas got the field goal. It's now a 4-point game. Thomas's kickoff taken by Ragsdale at the 5. Ragsdale threw the wedge over the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Piled up by number 74, Jerry Myers, putting the stop on him. Help from the linebacker, Muckenstern. Let's see that field goal again, Johnny. We've had one that was stopped when O'Donohue at the upright. This one got the better bounce.
They say it's a game of inches, and watch this one. It's deflected off the upright and stays and goes through. So the heavens were with Bob Thomas, number 16, and he says, he leans. He says, yes. Yes.
Okay, so close game is even closer. Pitch out now to Bell on first down. Bell running hard. And Bell close to a first down on the play. Mike Spivey finally stopped him, and it looked like he might have got first down yardage. Oakland in front of Denver 7-0 first period. The Rams lead St. Louis 7-0 on a touchdown run by Cullen Bryant. Buffalo really opening up on the Baltimore Colts. Just short of the first down. Less than a yard to go on a good hard run by Ricky Bell. 10-6 Buccaneers lead the Bears. Time winding down third period. Eckwood trying to get outside, can't do it again. Fensick, number 45, putting the tackle on him, coming up from the safety spot.
Harry Fensick comes up with a lot of key tackles for the Chicago Bears, and he's one of those lucky players who is playing in his own hometown. You know, probably the greatest break a football player can get is to be born and raised and go to college and come back and play pro in your hometown. He's from Barrington, Illinois, right here, a suburb of Chicago. He went to Yale.
Free agent signed in 1976. Eckwood got the first down yardage, and Fensick prevented it from being a whole lot more. Buccaneers on the move again.
Oh, good play.
Intended for Gordon Jones. He couldn't hold on as Williams really drilled it. Little play action.
That was kind of a nifty play, Tim. The fake of the pitch out, then just a quick post. And it was almost complete. If he'd have caught that in stride, he might have been gone.
Eckwood, by the way, has now carried 15 times for 102 yards. He opened the season as a rookie going for more than 100 yards. Came into this game with 332, good for 5th spot in the NFC. Second down. Nowhere to go for Ricky Bell. We'll make it Eckwood. Eckwood again. Page and Heron stopping him right at the line of scrimmage, and there may be a little loss. Let's see where they spot it. Loss of about a half a yard, bringing up third down. Jones brings in the play for Tampa Bay.
There's Alan Page, number 82, who sniffed that one out right from the very beginning and had no chance because he was not fooled.
Gordon Jones is wide right, Hagan's wide left. Pass for Hagan, he's open, first down to the 41-yard line. Doug Plank on the tackle.
Boy, what a rifle arm he has, huh, Tim?
Really.
It's a rifle arm as he goes back. Hagan's down and in on the simple sponge pattern. And you'll notice number 88, Giles, was wide open on the inside of him. They had two receivers there. Both of them were pretty open. There was Giles, 88, and there's Hagan's making the grab. And finally, up comes Doug Plank for the tackle.
Tampa Bay on the move again. The ball at the Bears' 46-yard line. Buck leads 10-6. In motion is Morris Owens behind the ball. Eckwood tries the right side. Gets a block. Tom Hicks forces him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 6 yards for Jerry Eckwood. Jimmy Giles with the lead block on the play on the corner.
Former Oklahoma man was out there, too. Greg Roberts, number 61. He pulled out and was really on the move there. which helped that play be a success. As you look at the score right now, Tampa 10, Chicago 6, actually Tampa Bay.
Last time these teams met, last November, Bears won 14-3 here at Chicago Stadium. In the overall series, the Bears have won 2 and the Bucs have won 1. In motion is Jones. Eckwood, right ahead, met by Muckensturm and pulled down at the ankles by Alan Page. Short of the first down, he gained about 3 yards on the play.
They seem to be going more and more to the I formation now. Eckwood's running out of that I to hope to give him a little bit of running room, you might say.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10, the Chicago Bears 6. We pause now for a word from your local station.
Tonight, Edith gets a job in a mental hospital, and that drives Archie crazy. Join the fun at Archie Bunker's place tonight at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
People will invent any excuse to keep from talking to a life insurance agent.
What do I tell him?
Tell him I died.
He died.
Uh-oh. Here comes that insurance man again.
But excuses could leave your family with nothing. And there's no excuse for that. When your independent life agent calls, talk to him.
You can stretch your money and your mileage now during Superior Pontiac's Sunbird sellout. Pay just $48.88 for air-conditioned Pontiac Sunbirds that get up to 685 highway miles per tank full of gas. At Superior, you get Tampa's greatest selection of Sunbirds, plus 1980 Phoenixes, GM's new X-model front-wheel drive car that gets up to 518 miles on a tank of gas. Give your savings added mileage. Get a long-range Pontiac at closeout prices now during the Sunbird sellout at Superior Pontiac, GMC, Tampa.
WTVT, Tampa, St. Petersburg.
Sunday.
Hi, everybody.
Edith has a surprise, and it drives Archie crazy, especially when Murray sides with Edith. Then on One Day at a Time, it's Barbara and Ann in the same class.
I feel so incredibly
stupid. Archie Bunker's place and One Day at a Time, Sunday at 8, 7 Central.
Dallas leading Cincinnati 7-3 in the first period of their game. Oakland in front of Denver 7-0 in the second. Buffalo way out in front of Baltimore. 3rd and a yard to go here. The Buccaneers leading by 4 points. Trying to drive deeper into Chicago territory. Bell in motion. Pitch out to Eckwood. Cuts behind his blocker Bell, but the Bears cover extremely well. Hampton, the rookie number 99, doing the job on the left defensive end, and Doug Plank coming up from safety.
Hampton may be having his best game as a Chicago Bear. He has got to learn to pass rush. They've been working with him quite a bit because he just hasn't had that much experience at it, but he's been strong against the run game, and his pass rush has improved. It's a 4th down situation for Tampa Bay at the Bear 38-yard line, so they're not going to give it a try. I guess they're going to punt unless they're going to surprise everybody here.
Tampa leading statistically by a considerable margin as we look at Steve Schubert. 157 yards rushing through 3 quarters, 141 passing, 73 rushing, 73 passing for the Bears. But there's only a 4-point difference on the scoreboard. A low snap. Blanchard, good effort, good kick. Gets it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and I'm sure he would like to have had some more time to try to angle it, Johnny, but he made a very good effort fielding that ball and getting it away.
Here's another look at it as the snap came a little low, but he was able to scoop it up like a shortstop and get it off, which did ruin his efficiency as putting it out of the corner because they only netted 18 yards out of it. They were on the 38, and the Bears have a first down at the 20-yard line. Knowing John McKay, I'm kind of surprised at the 38 that he might not have gone for it, but I guess he's going to depend on the strength of his defense, which has carried him for the last couple of 3 years. It's been the strongest part of their game.
Well, the Bears have only got 2 field goals. Remember, NBA action Friday, October 12th, the Lakers and the Clippers. Jabbar against Walton, and the first network appearance of Magic Johnson. Richards in motion, and the pitch out to Payton. Payton cutting back inside the right corner and picking up about 3 yards before being pulled down by Jarvis White, number 45. It is 2nd and 7, a gain of 3 for Payton.
You can tell that Payton is carrying his left arm just a little bit gingerly compared to his right arm. It doesn't swing as he walks. And obviously it has affected his mobility a little bit. As you see, he's moved past Bill Brown as the NFL's 18th all-time rusher. He is going on 5,900 yards, and he's only in his 5th year in the NFL. How about that?
Great performance. Second down. Bears trying to get it going here. They go to Payton again. He's got a blocker in front of him, and a good defensive effort by Richard Wood, diving for an ankle tackle just as Payton was about to turn it upfield. He got about 3 as it was, and it'll bring up third down at about 2.
Okay, here it is, the quick pitch as Payton goes to the outside. Looks like he might have some running room here. Notice how he carries that ball as Vince takes a look at him. Now he'll switch it. Usually he'll switch right to the left side just before he's getting hit, but that time he did not. So he does not want to carry with his left arm that much.
Third down, less than 2 to go. Oh, Robin Earl is stacked up short of the first down. Kohler, number 77. Number 58, Dewey Selman.
And now you know why John McKay chose to punt, because he was depending on the defense, and the defense did a job for him.
They sure did, and now the Bears will have to punt. Natives getting a little restless at Soldier Field, but there is a long way to go. 12:20 remaining in regulation time. It is just a 4-point margin, 10-6. Two outstanding defensive clubs really doing a job today. Parsons, high punt. Danny Reese, and even that one he didn't try the fair catch on. I mean, Lenny Walterscheid was practically in his pocket along with Brian Bashnagel, and he got the ball anyway. So it'll be first down at the 32-yard line when play resumes in a moment.
Spark Plugs, buy 7, get 1 free sales on right now. Participating outlets where you see this poster.
Thanks, AC.
Americans are learning that if their car's plugs are misfiring, a tune-up with new AC spark plugs can help improve gas mileage. Thanks, AC. Now's the time to tune up, because AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 8 AC spark plugs for the price of 7.
Thanks, AC.
Tune up with AC. Buy 7, get 1 free.
Thanks, AC.
43 miles a gallon, coming right up.
Flash your mileage extender? $19.95, right down the drain.
Here we go.
People do some crazy things to get better mileage. So Gulf would like to recommend a few that aren't so crazy. Like removing that extra weight, replacing a dirty air filter, maybe even correcting a small mistake.
Here's your problem, sir.
It's smart to get the most out of the gas you buy and the place you buy it.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris here. Let's see that punt return again.
Now, Lenny Walterscheid, number 23, could have really crucified him on this play, but he's being blocked. And, you know, he may have lost sight of the receiver sometimes, and sometimes you're not quite so sure whether he fair caught or not. But once you determine it, then you go ahead and make the tackle. But I'll tell you, he's got a lot of guts, that Reese, doesn't he?
He sure does. He doesn't know about the fair catch. I don't think anybody told him. First down, Tampa Bay in motion from zone. Back toward the ball. They go back behind him. A pitch out to Bell. Bell got just a couple before he swarmed under over there by a pack of Bears. Before the game, speaking of a pack of Bears, they introduced Dick Butkus, who went into the Hall of Fame at Canton this year, received his Hall of Fame ring in a pregame ceremony, the great former Bears linebacker. And we welcome back George Hallis, Papa Bear, who was in the hospital not too long ago and is out and healthy as usual here at the game today.
And he's going to have homecoming for all the old Bears tonight, so it's a big night in Chicago for ex-Chicago Bears.
A lot of great, famous old Bears attending the game today. Second down and 8. Swing pass out to Bell, can't hang on. Bell tried to haul it in with one hand, never got two on it. And it'll be third down. Tom Hicks out there on the coverage, but he had room to catch it.
That's a good play. They have worked that with Eckwood a couple of times. They don't really swing their back way out in the flat. They just bring him out, but not straight up the field, kind of in between. They cut the difference, and so he catches it in full stride on his way downfield, and they have had some success with that play. in this ball game. They'll probably come up with it again.
Third down. See what they can do here. 3-4 in against them defensively. They've got extra linebackers and defensive backs in. Williams for Hagen. Intercepted. Wallerscheid. No, incomplete. The official right on the play ruled that the ball touched the ground. And Wallerscheid does not get his interception. It was intended for Hagen. Badly overthrown.
Good coverage downfield by the Bears because Williams couldn't find anybody to throw to. He had to pump a couple of times here. Finally, he threw in desperation, and it was not accurate. It was overthrown right there. And let's see if he did indeed trap the ball. Very hard to tell. Very hard to tell. But the officials ruled he trapped it. Tampa Bay will punt.
So Blanchard will punt as the Bears defense rises up and stops the Bucs. Blanchard hits from his 25. The short punt taken at the 35-yard line by Lenny Wallerscheid. And the Bears have pretty good field position here. And remember, they trail by only 4 points. We have 11:04 remaining in the fourth quarter. 10-6 Tampa Bay.
And now, a highlight of the incredible Ford factory tour. Incredible developments in our search for good performance, better mileage, and low emissions. We're working on a ceramic gas turbine engine that'll get at least 30% better mileage than a conventional engine of the same size.
Buddy, I'd call that incredible.
I would. We're experimenting with battery power. For instance, this hybrid vehicle. Over 20 miles per hour, it runs on gas. Under 20, runs on electric.
Oh, that's even more incredible.
Is there such a word as incredible-er?
Ford is even working on an engine that gets mileage like a diesel, but runs a lot cleaner.
Is there anything more incredible than incredible?
It accelerates like some cars with 8-cylinder engines because it's turbocharged.
Friends, I guess there's only one way left to express our basic emotions.
Ford, that's incredible.
To take the incredible Ford factory tour, write us for information.
Coming next, it's the World Series of Golf. The best of world-class players shoot for the title in the World Series of Golf. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Immediately following our football telecast, we'll go to Akron, Ohio for the World Series of Golf. Larry Nelson, the leader, but look who's lurking behind. Along with Bill Rogers, there is Tom Watson. First down for the Bears. 11:04 remaining. Latta brought the play in from Neil Armstrong. Earl and Payton, the running back. Vince Evans, the quarterback. Play action. Screen pass. Payton running hard. Payton's got room. Payton diving. Touchdown. Walter Payton. Walter Payton taking Jarris White with him. The last 5 yards through the air. Got a good block from Golden Richards. 65 yards for the score.
A perfect screen pass as Walter Payton does the job. A tight formation there with Scott in. He clears the zone, and here comes Payton out behind his offensive lineman. Good blocking at the point of attack, and then Payton turns on the speed. It looked like he had him trapped her for a moment. He carries it with one hand, gets through the hole, turns on the speed. Good block by Golden Richards downfield. You'll see him out in front. And then Payton just dives. He started to cut back and then decided, I'm going to fly the rest away from the 5-yard on line on. He flew 5 yards into the end zone for the touchdown.
Good. And so the Chicago Bears, who have been hibernating through most of this football game offensively, have got themselves in front. With 10:50 to go regulation time, the Bears 13 and the Buccaneers 10.
I had my own way of tackling. I used to grab the whole backfield. Then I threw guys out until I found the one with the ball. When I started drinking beer, I did the same thing. And this is the one I'm holding on to. Light beer from Miller. It has a third less calories than a regular beer. It's less filling, and it tastes terrific, too. I also love the easy opening can.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Spread your wings.
Introducing the new 1980 Thunderbird, a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. And with its new size and a new 4.2-liter engine, this Thunderbird has excellent estimated gas mileage and also offers the first automatic overdrive option built in America, a new engineering breakthrough.
Coming October 12th. But see it now during this special preview week.
Let's take a look at the end of that screen pass again as Payton takes it with one hand. You have to have big hands to carry a ball that way because your arm is going up and down, up and down. A lot of people would drop the ball, but not Walter. And then this last 5 yards is really beautiful for anybody, even if you're a Tampa Bay rooter. As Golden Richards out front, and Payton takes off from the 5 and flies in for the touchdown. And there he is, Sweetness they call him. Noah Jackson says, nice job.
All right, Thomas will kick it off. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris here at Soldier Field. A low bouncing kick is taken by the line up over the 45 to the 46-yard line, and the Bucs start with good field position. Johnny, what do you think? Were they trying to stay away from the return, or did he just miss kick it?
I think they just didn't want to take a chance on, I'm sure he didn't miss kick it. They just didn't want anybody to get a full head of steam. Now, the Bears have not blitzed all that much in this game. There it is, another one-play drive, 65 yards, this time by Chicago. We might see a little bit more blitzing because Williams hasn't seen too much of it in this game.
Spivey continues at the corner for Terry Schmidt, who suffered an injury earlier in the game to his elbow. Ricky Bell straight ahead, running hard, picks up about 7. Hampton and Hicks, the linebacker, 99 and 54 on the tackle. Good hard run by Bell behind Greg Roberts and his center, Steve Wilson.
You go back to that field goal attempt by O'Donohue that when he hit the upright turns out to be a very big 1-inch miss there.
Well, it was a big 1-inch good one for Bob Thomas, too. 10-14 to go. It is second and a little more than 3. In motion back to the ball, Jones. Eckwood. Close to the first down, but not quite there. He'll have less than a yard to go. Osborne made the tackle, number 68. Williams signaling over to John McKay that less than a yard to go. Rideout comes in defensively for the Bears to give them 5 down linemen. The linebacker Campbell comes out on the 3rd and short. Eckwood goes out for the Buccaneers, and Obradovich is in double tight.
2 tight ends in for Tampa Bay.
Bell has the first down. Fensick hits him, but the Bucs keep it going, and they're in Bears territory at the 17 remaining in the 4th quarter. There is the sophomore pro, Doug Williams from Grambling, 6'4", 215 pounds. Their number 1 pick a year ago.
They don't roll him out so much as they used to. Last year, Tampa Bay beat Chicago on Doug Williams rolling out and throwing on the run.
That's because he had to save his skin. They got some more protection. First down, Tampa Bay. Ricky Bell, the lead back, and good running by Bell. He had a good hole behind Greg Horton and the center Wilson. Then he exploded through 2 Bear defenders and has a first down. Spivey and Hicks finally got him down.
Some good power running by Bell as he comes back, and watch him collide with 58 is in there, and then he just turns it on, breaks out of their grasp, and they were just dragging. Tom Hicks, number 54, dragged him down. Ricky Bell wanted that yardage.
Boy, that Hicks is not easy to drag at 6'4", 235. He's a strong guy, pumps a lot of iron. First down, the Bucs on the move now at the 31 of Chicago. Eckwood. Eckwood cannot break the tackle. It was Campbell and Hicks, the linebackers, combining on him, 59 and 54. He got maybe a yard. Well, they're going to give him a little more. Let's call it a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Kansas City in front of Seattle, 7-3. The Chiefs coming alive the last couple of weeks. Marv Levy's squad doing a whole lot of rebuilding. Rookie quarterback, Fuller. Seattle been struggling a bit. Figured to be doing better this year. 2nd and 8. The motion is over. foot, taking it outside, drags one tackler, Hartenstein, and picked up about 3 more yards on the play to make it 3rd and 5 before Fensick finally stopped him.
He came very close to breaking that one. You know, it's ironic, you know, Tampa Bay controlled that first half. 3 times they came so close to scoring, breaking the game open. They settled for that 7-point lead at the half, and now they cannot afford a mistake.
Osborne out, extra linebacker in, 3rd and 5. A little less than 5 for the first down. Williams sideliner complete. Did he have it inbound? Yes, he did. Gordon Jones, the rookie wide receiver from Pittsburgh, Spivey on the coverage. That was very close to not being totally in control inbound. It is a first down at the 16.
An excellent pass protection. Williams had plenty of time to throw the ball. Didn't use his body. He went up with his hands, and he had control. I believe he did have control.
Well, it was very close. And the official was right at the sideline, and the Bucs keep it alive, and that's all that's official at this point. 13-10, the Bears lead. 6:39 to go in the 4th period. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, as this game has really picked up the tempo here in this 4th quarter. Ricky Bell off tackle, batters his way for about 5, maybe 6 yards.
They sure run a lot of pitches, don't they? They've got Johnny Davis in there to help lead on the blocking.
Harry Fensick made the tackle again. He's been a busy man against the run in the Bears secondary. We'll call it about a 5-yard gain, just a little under that it would appear from the marker. John McKay keeping the sun off his head with that hat. Calling the plays. High formation. Davis, number 38, the lead back. Davis, the ball carrier, straight ahead. 4 yards before being thrown back. Alan Page, the tackle, number 82. Main man on the play. Hampton was there, helping out. Neil Armstrong, the Bears coach, hoping for his defense to make the big play here on 3rd and about 2.
And now the decision for John McKay. If he's going to go for it twice, he runs twice into the line. If you're going to take the risk on the pass, go for the touchdown, and then settle for the field goal. That's his decision.
He trails by 3. He's got Davis out and Eckwood back in. 2 wide receivers. Wide right, Higgins. Wide left, Owens. Williams will throw. Pumps once. He's got him open. Touchdown. Higgins over Spivey. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go back in front. And Doug Williams, showing his enormous poise, very coolly found the open man. That's the play they wanted. And was he open?
Yes, he was. He went down on the flag, went in on the quick goal, and then turned to the outside. You notice the pump by Williams, and he was wide open as he beat Spivey. Spivey was going to the inside, and, of course, Spivey hasn't been playing that much on the corner. He's replaced Terry Schmidt, who was injured earlier in the game. Now, this here is a big point, a very big point, extra point. It's 16-13 right now.
Neil O'Donohue with Blanchard holding. And it's good. And so the... Well, flag down. Is there a flag down on the play? Flag or a towel? Doesn't look like it's a flag, just a towel. All right. And so it is 17-13 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 5:07 to go, regulation time.
Here's a great Radio Shack bargain for people on the go. A take-along realistic entertainment system. It's an AM/FM radio for music and news, a cassette tape player. With this built-in mic, I can record lectures, meetings, even personal notes anywhere. Right now at Radio Shack, it's only $59.95. That's $30 off. Realistic radio recorder, like having a take-along entertainment system. Now sale price, just $59.95 at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Introducing the first new truck of the 80s, the only American 4x4 pickup with independent front suspension, the 1980 Ford. And for the first time ever, we're going to run a 4-wheel drive over these 4x4 beams next to this wall of light bulbs. A rod is attached to the front wheel and another to the door. Now watch as Ford's unique 4x4 independent front suspension steps over the beams independently. The wheel rod is breaking bulbs. but the door rod doesn't. Come into your Ford dealer now for a special preview of the first new truck of the 80s.
A priest falls from the Golden Gate Bridge. Suicide.
One is trying to kill me.
A cop and a beautiful nun. Together they might find the truth and each other. The Golden Gate Murders, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central.
A solid drive for Tampa Bay. 54 yards in 10 plays, using up 5:43 on the clock, culminating in the touchdown pass from 8 yards out to Hagan. And a 17-13 lead. Back to the 4-point margin. O'Donoghue's kickoff taken by Ricky Watts. Watts gets to the 20-yard line, met there by 3 or 4 Tampa Bay tacklers. By 3 or 4 of the Bucs trying to take that ball away from him. Well, here's an interesting statistic, John. The Bucs came into the game with the poorest third down offense in the entire NFL. They came in at 24%, 15 of 62. But today, they're 10 of 19 on third down. And in a couple of key situations, particularly the last one, they kept the drive alive with third down conversions. Bell has rushed for 48 yards. Eckwood for 118 yards for Tampa Bay. First down, Bears. Let's see what they can get going here. Evans complete. And Payton is hit by Cecil Johnson, by Dewey Selman, number 58.
I think they'll be looking for Walter out of that backfield for the rest of this game.
5-yard gain to Payton. Latta brings the play in. Cobb comes to the Bears sidelines. Williams is 14 for 31, 168 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That came in the end zone on the final play of the first half.
They're not going to let Scott stay man for man out here.
Richards in motion. They haven't thrown to him all day. They go to Payton out of the backfield. He has the first down. Walter Payton. Richard Wood stopped him out at the 35-yard line. And let's correct our interceptions on Williams. He has had 2 interceptions. Liver's picked off another one.
They're going to have to watch for Walter out of the backfield because, like with a lot of other teams, you let the big fullbacks or average backs catch it out of the backfield. You can get these good linebackers who can stop them for 2- and 3-yard gains. But Payton is so elusive and so explosive that they're going to have to start worrying about playing him inside, outside with the linebackers coming out of the backfield. Somebody waiting for him specifically, or the Bears could go right down the field.
And Dewey Selman being helped to the sidelines over there, holding his left arm, it appears. Aaron Brown, number 55, has come in to replace him at left inside linebacker. Don't forget 60 Minutes tonight. Fidel Castro talks with Dan Rather. In motion is the tight end, Latta. And Evans in traffic, loose ball, and a rule, a face mask. Selman was in there, number 63. And the play was called before the ball came loose, evidently. Walter Payton having quite a day as usual, 88 yards via the pass route. He's rushed for 46 yards.
Did you see Noah Jackson pick up the hanky for the official? That was nice of him. He wouldn't have if the penalty had been against the Bears. You can bet on that.
It is against the Buccaneers. Let's hear referee Gordon McCarty.
Face mask, number 60, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, it's against Wally Chambers, as Payton was wide open over the middle again. Here comes Chambers from the outside as Evans tries to... Well, I didn't pick it up, did you?
Well, that's why the ball came loose. Yeah, he grabbed him by the mask as he had his arm up and pulled him around, and that caused Evans to drop the ball. Evans back to pass. He's got Golden Richards open. Richards out of bounds at the 38, a gain of about 7 on the play. First pass today to Golden Richards. Second down. 3 yards to go for a first down. 3:29 to play. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris. We've got a thrilling finish here with the Buccaneers leading by 4.
and they have to wait for the play to come in from Greg Latta, but that's no fun for the receivers, because what's fun is when you can stand next to the quarterback and say, I can do this, I can do that. You can call your own plays, but now they send them in, and it ruins the whole game.
They're in the pro set. Richards in motion behind the ball. Vince Evans, number-rated quarterback. Up the middle for Richards, intercepted. Cedric Brown, number 34, dropped immediately, but he made an outstanding interception. The collision from Brown and just stole that ball. Big defensive play for the Bucs with 3:21 to go.
Well, he's their man down there, that free man, and he kept his eyes open, came up and helped out on the pass defense and made the interception. He hasn't had all that many interceptions this year, but he's knocked a lot of passes down. As Evans waited, finally throws the ball, and look at that. He comes up. He's the second man helping out. Nice play by Cedric Brown.
His first interception of the season, but as you pointed out, he's been in the thick of knocking a lot of balls away, and he is a good ball hawk. Next week, on our NFL coverage, Chicago at Buffalo, Detroit at New England, Green Bay at Atlanta. Philadelphia will be at Washington. Tampa Bay will be at the Giants. St. Louis at Houston. Those are our first games. And the doubleheader games, Dallas at Minnesota, Los Angeles at New Orleans. Check your local listings for the games and times in your area. Buccaneer ball. And they are in command now. The Bears have to get the ball back immediately. Johnny Davis carrying it for the first time. Muckenstern made the tackle. Gain of about 2. Baltimore has scored in their game against Buffalo, but they're still well behind. Next week, Johnny and I will be in Buffalo for the high-scoring Bills against the Chicago Bears. 17-13 here at Soldier Field. Brilliant sunshine all day. Johnny Davis again. Davis picked up a couple of more before being swarmed down by the right side of the Bears defensive line. Davis, the second-year man from Alabama. Number 2 pick a year ago behind Doug Williams. Third down, about 5. Hampton, the man to stop him.
The Bears have used one of their timeouts because I guess they're trying to take advantage of the 2-minute warning, too. It's 2:27 left on the clock. They are now down to 2 timeouts. Tampa Bay will have a 3rd and 5 or 6, which is an interesting situation. Will they try to pass and garner that first down, or will John McKay go conservative and run the ball and try and wind it down to the 2-minute warning? He's over there now with Doug Williams mapping this play out. Looks like he's drawing a few lines. Maybe they'll bring up a new play. Something.
Well, he can certainly do it if he wants to. He's the boss, right?
That's right.
Monday night on CBS, quite a lineup as usual, starting with White Shadow, and you can find out why Reese wants to quit the team. Don't do that, Reese. And on MASH, Hawkeye gets caught between a wounded civilian and a military interrogator. Have you ever been caught between a wounded civilian and a military interrogator? I want to find out what that's all about. Then a special showing of The Last Resort, followed by Lou Grant. That's all on CBS Monday night. Bell and Eckwood are the running backs. 3rd and 5. The Bucs want to keep the ball here and use up the rest of the time in this game. Eckwood behind Bell. Eckwood cannot get to the first down. Good defensive play. Virgil Livers was there, number 24. Tom Hicks and Lenny Walterscheid all getting in on that one. That was a big play for the Bears. Brings up 4th down. These two teams defensively have been very, very solid today. We've had 2 long runs for touchdowns. Otherwise, the offenses have been closed down completely. Another timeout on the field with the 2-minute warning. The Buccaneers lead at 17-13.
Now, the trick is, in just 3 moves, they get the light bottle caps all together, moving 2 each time. Once, twice, 3.
What? That's easy.
Hey, I could put away a lot of beer by the time they figure this one out. It tastes great, but it's got a 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. And it's less filling.
Hey, what's going on here?
Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3.
What? That's easy. Let me...
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Good old Charlie, that's me. Somebody's got a dead battery and they call good old Charlie, and I jump start 'em. Rain, snow, day, night. Well, this time I tell them, get your own Die Hard.
The maintenance-free Die Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
This is the last time.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, anytime.
The Die Hard, sold only at Sears.
Chicago's Honey Bears getting a few rays out there today. Here it is, almost October, and nice sunny day for the girls. 2 minutes to play in the game. Steve Schubert awaiting the punt from Tom Blanchard. Blanchard at the 45-yard line of the Buccaneers. The league's toughest defense against the rush. We'll be seeing some aerial work when the Bears get the ball with 2 minutes to go. Another low snap, another good job by Blanchard. Schubert's going to let it go in. It does, and the Bears will start from their 20 on a touchback.
And they have 1 minute, 53 seconds to score, not a field goal, but a touchdown. They're 4 points down. They got to go for the big score.
Well, they have had the opportunity to figure out the strategy for the final 2 minutes. Neil Armstrong and his offensive coordinators. Kenny Myers upstairs. Vince Evans is ready. Let's see if the Bears can move it against this tough Buccaneer defense.
Well, the Bucs will probably give them those short passes and give them 5-10 yards a clip. It just depends whether they can get all the way down the field.
Richards in motion. Flag down. Evans for intercepted by Jarris White, intended for Bashnagel. Earl pulls him down. Now let's see who the flag is against. Jarris White on the interception, a bad pass or a bad route. The penalty against the Bears for illegal motion. Let's see it again.
The wide receiver down at the bottom of your screen, I think that's James Scott. James Scott moved too soon. They had 2 minute motion, and he threw the ball way overthrown. And there was the easy interception by Jarris White, and that could be the old ball game. What a way! That's really a downer for the Chicago Bears as Robin Earl makes the tackle, but they had 2 men in motion at the same time.
It was James Scott for being illegally in motion, as Johnny described it. Richards was legally in motion, and Scott left early. Bashnagel appeared to be running that route correctly, and at this moment we'd have to say Evans overthrew it. Bell for the Bucs, bashing his way for 5, maybe 6 yards, down to the 36-yard line as these Buccaneers show continued maturity and poise. Campbell and Muckenster made the tackle for Chicago.
And we are looking at the only undefeated team left in the National Football League, and the only undefeated coach, John McKay. They'll be 5-0 in the Central Division.
In front of McKay is Bill Nelson, their quarterback coach, offensive strategist with Kenny Meyer. And with a timeout on the field, it is 2nd and 5, and the Bucs lead it by 4.
If you choose your tools as carefully as you use them, choose Master Mechanic tools from True Value Hardware stores. Master Mechanic tools are American-made from superior you would expect from a professional quality tool. True Value Hardware stores are so confident of this quality that they'll replace any Master Mechanic tool that fails to perform as expected. And that means any tool from a wide line of Master Mechanic tools sold only at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Well, I think I included Kenny Meyer on the coaching staff of the Bucs. Of course, he's with the Bears. Apologies to all concerned. 2nd down, Tampa Bay. And Johnny Davis. Oh, what a pop he takes right at the line of scrimmage. Still scrapping, but play had been called. And he got maybe a yard. 3rd down for the Buccaneers. 1:19 on the clock. Tampa Bay, John McKay, Bill Nelson down there, giving the play to Morris Owens, number 85, to bring in. 3rd down and 3. Remember, the World Series of Golf follows immediately here on CBS.
Don't the Bears have a timeout left? Boy, I'd sure take it now. Stop that clock and then worry about stopping it other ways later on. But they let him roll off 30 seconds right there.
Williams brings out the Bucs. Big hole for Bell. Bell has 1st down at the 30-yard line of the Chicago Bears, and that is going to wind it up. First down for Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is going to win their 5th consecutive game without a defeat. They are handily atop the Central Division of the National Football Conference. And the Bears in Detroit, and Minnesota, and Green Bay will do all of the chasing the rest of the way as time ticks away here at Soldier Field. And we'd like to thank our producer, Bill Barnes, director John McDonough, the fine technical crew from WBBM in Chicago for another outstanding job here this afternoon. And that is it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won it 17-13 to go 5-0 as McKay hustles off. The Bears fall to 2-3, and Walter Payton and Doug Williams shaking hands down there. Two fine athletes who have had a fine day today. Tampa Bay 17, Chicago 13. Tampa Bay now the only unbeaten team in the National Football League. Walter Payton with an exciting touchdown run to his credit, 65 yards on a screen pass. Jerry Eckwood, the rookie, running a 61-yard touchdown score for the victorious Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I think you have to hand it to Tampa Bay. They had to score there at the last moments of the game. They went down, and they did it. They deserve the victory.
All right, remember, coming right up is the World Series of Golf here on CBS, live from Akron, Ohio, the final round action, and they've got a dogfight going for that big championship. Tim Ryan for Johnny Moore saying good afternoon from Chicago, Illinois, at the NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
The Pope's visit to Ireland brings into sharp focus the continuing strife between Catholics and Protestants in that divided land.